Guys, do not use diesel on a Prius or any car that doesn't take it. The station ran out of gasoline, so I used diesel since I figured it'd just make my engine a little louder. Wow. It does not make your engine louder. My car broke down waiting on AAA. You may have destroyed it. Woo! Really? On a Prius? Out of all the cars on Earth that you'd figure you could use diesel on, a Prius should be the last one. The only cars that should be higher up on the list of don't do that when it comes to diesel should be electric cars, because you shouldn't be putting anything in there, man, except the lightning. A Stranger Things fan had her life turned upside down after being catfished by a scammer claiming to be Dacre Montgomery? I have no idea. I do not know how to pronounce his name. Who plays Billy in the series. Played. The single mother says she left her husband for the scammer after meeting in an online forum, and even sent them nearly $10,000. Holy crap. How in the world did they verify to you that this was Montgomery? How'd he do that? How in the did he do that? Did he take, like, Instagram photos that for some strange reason a superfan like you would not have seen? How in the world did he confirm to you that he was the actor from the show? Have you ever had to park like an asshole because the person next to you parked like an asshole, and when you go to leave, the original asshole has already gone, making you look like the only asshole to all the other motorists and passerby during that time frame? No. I have not had that happen to me. Generally, I don't get near the person that parked like an asshole, you know? I try not to. India. Man beats up his 16-year-old son after seeing X-named application on his phone. Later found out that's Twitter's new logo. Boo! Meant for satire. Okay? What are the flecks of vanilla in my vanilla ice cream? Excuse me? Bought this ice cream last week. Notice all the black flecks in it? I didn't notice till I had a few mouthfuls and thought it was gritty. Anyone else had this problem or know what it could be? Why is there vanilla in my vanilla? What the fuck? I don't know why I went with that voice. You know what else I went with, but I do know why I went with it? The new merch over at EmKayshop.com. Come on, make sure you use code BOOBIN at checkout. Get you free shipping. Everybody likes their free shipping, and these clothes is awesome, all right? Me personally, I'm a big fan of the green hoodie. It's just so weird to me that not too long ago, someone with a regular old job could buy a house, like an entire house with just their job money. Dude, if television is to be believed, which it's very rare, but it can happen, if TV's to be believed, back in the 80s, you could not only just buy a house with your job money, but one person could buy a house with their job money and have several kids, 2 cars, you know, all that. 80s poor, 70s poor, hell, even 90s poor is significantly better than 2023 poor. It's great. We're gonna have to start munching on people in the streets. Princess Charlotte already speaks 2 languages at just 2 years old. So do most children of immigrants, but I guess it's less impressive when they're poor. Yeah, of course. Why would the news give a shit if it's a random poor person who doesn't have the title of princess? Not that a 2-year-old is doing anything wrong. They're a goddamn child. This was a while ago, but not that a 2-year-old is the target of my ire. Is ire a proper term? Anyway, I just don't like them rich people. Now, I know there's some people out there that would say, well, it's because you're not rich. Damn straight, it's because I'm not rich. If I were rich, I'd probably be a little bitch like the rest of them. I broke up with my boyfriend because he called the Barbie movie offensive. Now he's disappeared after stealing all my food and my Dyson Airwrap. Okay, that's f***ed up. He took the Airwrap? He ain't gonna use it. He knows why he took it. The Barbie movie is ending relationship, left and right. I broke up with my boyfriend after watching the Barbie film. It opened my eyes. Got unmatched on Hinge after I told the guy that Barbie's an experience and Oppenheimer's just a film, which I can understand. Did anyone watch Barbie and suddenly want to break up with their boyfriend, or was that just me? Are you crying? You're just a guy and you'll never understand how difficult it is to be a woman in a man's world. That is pretty damn true, okay? It has always unfortunately been a world run by the dudes. Pretty much forever. And no, I totally understand that I will never get what it's like to be a woman. I wouldn't expect to suddenly someday get it. Just like I would not expect to suddenly know what it's like to be a person of color or anything like that. I stay in my lane. I really do, okay? Woman dumps boyfriend over his bigoted reaction to the Barbie movie. Growing up, millions of blah, 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 blah. That's not what I asked for. And for one woman, that meant breaking up with her boyfriend who wasn't on board with the film's feminist themes. And below okay, so no information we actually wanted to hear. Well, that's cool. How much is $5,000 in dollars? 5,000. No, but like in dollars. $5,000. I know it's 5,000, but how much is it in dollars? What's not clicking? Clearly what's not clicking is the power cable that's supposed to connect your brain to the generator. You dipshit. Crying at your wedding is gay now, fellas. There's a trend, and I think I've only seen it in the last 5 to 6 years, of grown men crying when they see their bride walking down the aisle. I have to say it's extremely gay. Men shouldn't cry at such things. It should be reserved for extreme moments of pain, like death. All right, Mega, I don't know. It doesn't matter. If you're making a joke, good joke. Honestly, you got us. You got the internet. You won. If you weren't joking, I hope you never have someone that loves you enough to break down in tears of happiness when they see you. Don't say period law restricting K through 12 reproductive and sexual health instruction takes effect. Also dubbed the Don't Say Period Law, the legislation most notably bars instruction on human sexuality, sexually transmitted diseases, and other related subjects, including menstruation, before 6th grade. Okay. So you're going to ban schools from talking about this sort of thing, and you're also going to be too much of a p*** to tell your kids about this when it's time. Because that's the only goddamn reason schools were ever mandated with talking about that crap in the first place, is because mom and dad are a couple of p***s who refuse to talk to their coming-of-age child about things that are important for them to know. Very important. My mom wasn't a little about it. When it came time, I was told. And I went, oh, okay, cool. How hard is that? It's not. Grow the fuck up. You're a parent. Q4. My baby daddy got promoted, so I appealed for more child support. He ordered a DNA test and my son failed. He put the results in my mailbox. I forgave myself for cheating, but he's being petty. He's been my son's dad for 8 years, and why ghost my child now? How to fix it? Excuse me? Huh? So ooh, man. Wow. You. This whole You ever watch a rich person's expression change when you ask a question that's too poor? I once bragged to a coworker that I got my outfit from thrifting, and my boss took me aside and said not to say I shop at thrift stores because it made him look bad. Like he didn't pay me enough. Reader, he didn't pay me enough. Yeah, absolutely. Look, even if I was rich, though, I'm absolutely still going to go thrifting, because you can find some legitimately cool stuff. Like, honestly. I got some news for you, and you're not gonna like it. Don't make Star Wars political. Okay, first of all, queer characters existing is not political. Second of all, Star Wars is literally in our name. Please explain number 2, what's your point? The original Star Wars was an allegory of the Vietnam War. It absolutely was not, unless the Empire is the USA. Now, wait just a minute. It was an allegory of the Vietnam War featuring Nazis. I mean, come on. Right? Could it be more obvious? Plus, I'm pretty sure that he had been asked, George Lucas, of course, has been asked about this, and thematically, he wanted them to be similar to Nazi Germany and be, the crazy fascist empire that they were, all right? I feel like it's pretty darn obvious. I could be wrong, I've also heard in, the past that it was an allegory, or the empire is an allegory for the Nixon administration. I've heard so many different things. To me, as a viewer who is watching the art and has subjective feelings about things, I used to think, oh, so the stormtroopers are the Nazis and stuff, that's what that feels like. I get that the time period wasn't exactly World War II when the movies came out, but that's what I always thought, right? But I have heard a good few, many different things. I've heard the thing about the Vietnam War, I've heard about the Nixon administration, I've heard about Nazi Germany when it came to Star Wars. So yeah, don't make Star Wars political. Holy shit, you're stupid, okay? Bradley Cooper is facing mounting backlash over his apparent use of a prosthetic nose in his depiction of composer and conductor Leonard Bernstein in the upcoming movie Maestro. Bradley Cooper accused of face over face. What the dude? Huh? Also, did he make the decision? Is Bradley Cooper the one in charge of makeup and prosthetics on the movie that he was cast in? Did he know he was going to need to wear a prosthetic nose? Is that something that he actively went out of his way to do? Hell, it could have been a decision that was made after they started filming. That happens a lot. They start filming. Later on, they go, you know what? Let's do this instead. And so they switch. Maybe he didn't like it. Jesus, man. What the hell is this? The Witcher producer says painful simplification of the books is necessary for wider audiences. Okay, so you're saying that we're all f***ing stupid, far too stupid to understand a more complex story. Far too stupid for us to be, well, given the opportunity to even try. Is that what you're saying here? 5 to 10 seconds 5G typically leads to tunnel vision and then loss of consciousness. We have proof. Yeah, 5 to 10 seconds of 4 to 5 G's vertically typically leads to tunnel vision and then loss of consciousness. You know, G forces? Oh, you didn't read that part. You specifically, no, actually, you know, I'll take that back. They did read that part, but they intentionally ignored the rest. They intentionally ignored the details that would have, well, made their tweet look stupid. Wow, look stupid. Kinda like it does. You know, I'm all confused. I don't know. Are you dumb on purpose or on accident? Are they vampires? Chinese parents sue daughter they abandoned for refusing to buy brother apartment, causing national outrage. What? Come on, man. Really? Real artistic license. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Napoleon Bonaparte. Huh? Hold the goddamn phone, okay? What? Had a job interview today, screwed the manager and walked out with a new job making $7.25 an hour, and y'all asking y'all parents for money. Can't relate. I'm so sorry that you're in the position where you felt like it was apparent, and they could be joking. A lot of that does tend to come to fruition, you know, that it was indeed a joke. They got my ass. Okay. But I'm incredibly sorry, and I feel incredibly horrible that you thought you were in a position where you needed to sleep with somebody to get a job making you minimum wage. McDonald's, it looks like. I'm so sorry that you felt that that was for some reason necessary. I just don't know where we are anymore. I don't. OMG, a coffee mug. Fox News is freaking out about Biden's newest video where he sips from a dark Brandon mug. That's actually a really dark joke at the expense of the American public. Brandon is not a compliment. He knows. He is fucking aware of that. I think that's why he did it. Okay, born to ride Donald Trump. Yeah, I bet you were, pal. Kid Rock drinking Bud Light again at Colt Ford concert, or at a Colt Ford concert, sorry. Sometimes I can't read. Wow, it's almost like he was being a big bitch for legitimately no reason. Yeah, I can't really figure. Barack Obama's friend and chef drowned to death on his property just a few days ago. Here he is grieving at the Church of the Sacred Fairway. Trump buried his ex-wife on his golf course after she fell down the stairs. I'm so tired of hearing about all these people. When I woke my ex up, saying I went through his phone and he immediately put his shoes on, said, "So I guess we're done," and left. Okay. Yeah, the relationship was definitely long for this world if we're gonna have to go searching through each other's phones rather than talking. Funny you say that, but no one has ever directly observed a germ. They might as well be black magic. They've never been proven. I've seen bacteria, viruses, and parasites over the years. That's what happens when you spend years in a medical microbiology laboratory setting. You tend to see these things on a regular basis. Have you ever seen one without the aid of a microscope? What, are you saying that microscopes aren't real with those quotations? I'm a little bit confused by the message you're trying to send here, but we get it. You're dumb. Seller is telling it's hail damage. Okay, let's see. Yeah, right. Did you happen to send them a message that just said, "Are you high?" Because are they? Is gym really worth it? Was there some sort of study that says seasoning decreases muscle growth, or do bodybuilders just eat the food equivalent of a side note every day voluntarily? I don't know what it is. I think they treat all spice as though it's salt, because I'm pretty sure salt is a spice. However, it's not the only spice, and not all spice is like salt. I think it'll be okay if you put some spice on. The boy's name is whatever. After getting a smartphone and using the internet, thereby following atheists' pages, he lost his faith and converted to atheist. Pretty sure that atheism's not an organized religion of any kind and you can't convert to it, but okay. We argued and I tried my best to convince him to turn back to Islam, but he wouldn't listen. He threatened to spit on the Quran. He did and sent me the video as he did. I prayed to God to deal with him, and by the next day when he woke up, this is what Allah turned him to. This should serve as a lesson and deter— Yeah, okay, sure, yep, God turned him into a bird. Yep, you are really— Whatever. Guy finds a lamp in the sand and rubs it. A genie pops out and says, I grant you one wish. Dude thinks real hard for a minute and says, I wish I had an enormous pecker. Shut up. Friend just posted this and was utterly serious. Men prefer debt-free virgins without tattoos. Some men might prefer that. Sure. Everybody has a preference. Everybody has a preference. And you can have whatever preferences you want, right? But no, men as a whole do not prefer debt-free virgins without tattoos. What the hell are you talking about, man? Who are you? Who are these men? Are they in the room with us right now? History books really convinced us that early humans used to hunt woolly mammoths with spears. That animal weighed 5 tons with a speed of 24 miles per hour. Imagine trying to stop a U-Haul truck with a spear. That's how I know most of ancient history is bullshit. They just make shit up. Jam a pencil in between your ribs and start running. See how far you get. Yeah, and let's be fair here, I'm pretty sure that mammoths, unlike U-Hauls, are made of flesh, right? Flesh. I don't think the last U-Haul that you were in was made of anything but metal and plastic, which is a little bit different. Also, I don't believe that mammoths could go up to 100 miles per hour. I don't know. There's a few holes in your logic. Maybe they were put there by spears. 4-year-old girl was denied school enrollment because she had poor in English language? What does that mean? All right, let's see here. She was very poor in math part? She need improve how to count and write numbers and do equation. Also, she had poor in English language. She need improve in all English skills. So you failed the girl for her English skills and you can barely speak it yourself. Huh, okay. The Arabic text says, thanks to God, my girl was denied school enrollment. Try to extract a single English word from this. Who gave this guy a medical degree? Adults with ADHD are forced to navigate life while unmedicated. The horror! You mean adults might have to learn how to function as human beings without unnecessarily drugging themselves? What a shocking thought. You don't have ADHD. You just get distracted because you live your life surrounded by distractions, and you've never developed the discipline required to focus on one task at a time. Can't solve that with a drug, I'm afraid. So I've said many times on this channel that I've always considered myself to be a pretty stupid person. I like to keep my head on the ground. My whole thought process about myself, I want to keep it in check, you know? I don't want my ego to inflate nearly as big as someone like Matt Walsh. I have never seen a person quite as mean-spirited and purposefully stupid. A lot of these people definitely have the brain power to be normal. They do. They seem to choose not to. Just an evil, evil soul. An evil soul with a head as big as a goddamn hot air balloon. Multi-millionaire Brian Johnson receives a 1-liter blood transfusion, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, the guy that spends $2 million a year on anti-aging treatments. The guy who looked significantly younger and more normal 5 years ago, allegedly before he started doing this weird crap. And when he spends $2 million a year on this, is that going to his son? Is he paying his son for his blood? Or is that what it costs to do the transfusions? Because can you imagine stealing your son's blood? Also, on the other side of that coin, can you imagine being the son going, sure, daddy, I'll give you my blood without any compensation whatsoever? I don't know. The dude just freaks me out. Can't believe she just couldn't be taught English. John Krasinski fought for a deaf actress to be cast in A Quiet Place and made sure the whole cast learnt sign language on set, instead of just teaching her English. Okay, bye. The American dream is dead. I feel the need to explain something to the generation that does not remember or never saw a world where a person with a high school education could support a family of 5 comfortably. This was real for millions of US families. It was normal. It was stolen from you. Yeah, this isn't just the economy going the way that it was always meant to go. It was specifically calculated and it was stolen. They pulled the rug right out from underneath us, but quite slowly, you know? 99 hours in a week. I'm unstoppable. No, what you are is heavily goddamn exploited. What is that, like a little over $11 an hour? I mean, maybe even less when you factor in taxes coming out and stuff like that. That seems insane, and you are worth significantly more. 99 goddamn hours! And after the taxes come out of that check, holy shit, this is insane. You're damn near working yourself to death to have wages that should be fairly, well, not 99 hours a week type of wages, you know what I'm saying? So now that Twitter's been rebranded to X, what are tweets called now? X's. No, the actual, they are not called X's. The website is not called X, it's called Twitter. They're not called posts, they're called tweets. And until Twitter pops back up literally somewhere else, and no, I'm not talking about goddamn Blue Sky or something like that. I mean literally Twitter, if it ever pops back up somewhere else with that name and branding again, that is the only time I'm going to consider X to be its actual own entity at all. They're not called X's. They're called tweets, dipshit. You're gonna dead name one of your kids, I'm gonna dead name your goddamn site. The Bible was written entirely by the greatest American who ever lived. Jesus. This is a joke, or it's called history, sweaty. Look it up. Pretty fun blocking people who complain that blocking is going away. How does that medicine taste? Holy shit, you are such a loser. People pointed out that per App Store rules, both on Apple and Android, you would not be allowed to remove the blocking feature. The moment they pointed that out, you went on a little blocking spree and pretended like it was your plan all along. You totally knew. Dude, you're such a dipshit. What the hell happened to him in that prison? Women are born with innate power, a form of magic. But every time someone screws them, they give some away. He takes it. That's why the most powerful men have slept with endless women, and the least magical women have slept with endless men. Okay, it wasn't the prison that got him. He's always been a frickin' moron. I'm sorry, he always has been. But, dude, if this were real, Barney Stinson would be able to absolutely rip your molecules apart. And he's fake. He ain't even a real guy, and he'd be more than you. Why would you teach like this? Tell how to make 10 when adding 8 plus 5. You can't make 10 with 8 plus 5. Yes, you can. Take 2 from 5 and add it to 8. What? Excuse me? Where in the rules did it say that I could do that? I was given 2 bits of information to get to 10. I was told, how can I get 10 by adding 8 to 5? You can't. Am I not understanding this? How am I not getting it? This isn't fair. Math is math. You can't change math. When was I allowed to take 2 from 5? When was I allowed to do that? I literally was supposed to just completely change the equation? What? Then add 3? What? I'm sorry. This might make complete sense to someone else, but I'm a moron, all right? I do not mind letting you guys know how stupid I am, but I'm not getting this one, okay? And this is meant for children. She absolutely is guilty. Back in the I Don't Care Supersuit, Amsterdam, you were incredible. We laughed, we danced, we sang, we cried, we ate bananas. You did what? Wait, what'd you do? What did you eat? How is that obesity? All right, let's see. This thing ruins outfits. I'm convinced straight men don't even like women. That belly is so sexy. How is promoting obesity great? Well, that's not obesity in any way, shape, or form. Ladies out there, do not worry. The only straight men that seem to actually despise women are the closeted gay ones that have serious issues, mainly with shutting the hell up on Twitter. Don't worry, they'll figure it out someday when they stop hating themselves. They will. They will stop hating themselves someday, and they'll realize that all this talk has been incredibly abusive and mean to these other people. System of a Down has raised nearly $1 million for Armenia with new singles. Why don't they help with the problems in their own country first before worrying about another? They're Armenian. Literally no restaurant is happy to do this. Pro tip, ask for cucumbers instead of chips at the Mexican restaurant. Most are happy to accommodate. I'm sorry, but I don't know a single restaurant that is happy to accommodate for any goddamn reason, okay? No one's happy that you're there. Sure, they get to keep their job and all that fun stuff, but they're not going to be happy to accommodate your dipshit request. I'm sorry. Look, in my opinion, it does feel at least more normal than some of the other stupid things people think that they're owed at restaurants. Just going, this may sound weird, but could I just get cucumber slices instead of chips? I mean, I'll pay for them, but could I get those? Like, okay, let me ask the manager. Yeah, we can do that for you. Okay, not a big deal. But most are happy to accommodate? Who the f*** are you to say that? You don't know that. You're not working at the one that you got them at now. And, you know, just going off the rails a little bit. I mean, you're a gorgeous person. Don't get me wrong. You look beautiful. However, the face you're making, you're not even happy about these cucumbers. So how the hell is the restaurant happy? But people who got it cured didn't complain, though. There's something so demonic about this, and I can't even articulate what it is. It's the idea that someone with a disability needs to be cured. Wrong. To me, it's the idea that a YouTuber was and is doing a better job at so many simple, bare minimums in society that, yeah, it feels wrong. It feels wrong when a YouTuber has to go out of his way, and, you know, doesn't have to. He's making money off of this. Make no mistake, he and his are making more money than has ever been made on YouTube before. That's definitely a goddamn fact at this point. But regardless, what feels wrong to me is that, I don't know, would these people have been able to get this help at all without a rich guy coming out of nowhere and making a YouTube video about them? Because I've got a sneaky suspicion he chose these 1,000 people out of a pool of a much bigger group that couldn't because their insurance said no, or they didn't have insurance, which means that they didn't have the money to get the procedure done. And I'm pretty sure he mentions that it's a relatively easy and cheap procedure, doesn't he? I don't know. I haven't watched it. I'll take a look at it at some point soon here. Just, I don't know. That's definitely not why it's weird. Ladies, you can't be drafted. Sit down when war is discussed. A lot of men have told me to sit down and shut up. Now those men call me Colonel. Yeah, Stefan, why don't you address her real quick? Go ahead, Stefan. Go ahead, do it. I know it's cliche to say so, but this hospital charging parents $40 to hold their newborn baby is a really tight microcosm of capitalism. I feel like I've seen people try to explain this one away. I feel like I've seen explanation for it, but I don't know, man. This is ridiculous. This is insane to me. Just the idea, all of these little charges. There are a lot of things that go into a childbirth, but getting a bill at the end is, I don't know, trillions of dollars in tax revenue, and we can't pay a bit of that towards, you know, health care for people. We can't do that. That's literally not possible. There's just no way. I don't care if I have to pay an extra few $100 a year extra if it means that someone that needs it is going to get help. If it means that they get to have any improvement, a f***ing crown on their tooth, a pair of glasses, to deliver their baby without getting a bill that gives them a heart attack. Because that $1,600, look at that $13,000 figure over there that was allegedly paid by their insurance. Bullshit. Bullshit. These numbers were paid by anybody. They're fucking fake, man. Turns out X has already been trademarked. Try to guess who hasn't. It appears Instagram and Facebook owner Meta holds the trademark for X as it relates to online social media networking services or social networking services. Social networking services in the fields of entertainment, gaming, and application development. Well, see that, though, in the fields of entertainment, gaming, and application development? Twitter might not necessarily even fall under entertainment. He could probably make up some bullshit about how it's none of those things and still have the right to do it. Plus, I'm pretty sure that Microsoft also holds a trademark on X in a different facet. I don't know. It's all stupid. Man punctures leg with drill, treats it with homeopathic remedies. Hey, can anybody help? Hubby put a drill into his leg. Don't say hubby. I'm sorry. I think all of us have moved past hubby like we've moved past doggo, okay? It's healed over the top and scabbed already, but now it's getting hot and red, suggesting infection and not healed deeper down. What now? More colloidal silver? Or do I castor oil wrap? Avoid the tetanus jab. Don't get tetanus unless he works directly with cow poop. He doesn't need it. Huh? Excuse me? Bro, I stepped on a rusty nail when I was a kid. You want to know what I got? My goddamn tetanus shot. Okay? Onion wrap in his socks each night will draw the nasty bacteria from his body. No, it won't. No, it won't. Oh, no, it won't. And first of all, no, it won't. Fifth of all, no, it's not going to do any of that. Take that man to the goddamn emergency room, or take him to his doctor, take him to an urgent care, take him to anybody, please. I'm fucking begging you, okay? Before he loses part of his leg or his ankle or whatever the shit, go get the goddamn tetanus shot. Go get something, please. Trans women banned from top-level female chess events by FIDE, the world's top chess federation. Wait, why is chess gendered in the first place? You're literally just moving tiny trinkets on a board? Oh, it's because... really, you don't know? You don't know why? To be fair, I don't know either. I got no freaking clue. If I had to guess, it's because the organizations that be think that either men or women are dumber than the other sex. So it's not fair for them to compete, because they're either smarter or they're stupider, which means that, it'd be mean to go up against them, or it wouldn't be fair to go up against them. So, I don't know. It's incredibly stupid, the lengths that we're going to try and screw over trans people. Like, just in general. Just all across the board, they're doing anything they can to screw them over, even in the most pathetic ways possible. Like this. This is just sad to read. And I wonder how many trans women out there went, really? That's where we're at now? You're that? I don't give a really? That's where? Whatever. X videos was suspended? For anyone confused, Twitter are changing their name to X and are proposing calling videos on Twitter X videos. If they're actually serious about that, I've got nothing left to say. The stupidity is now locked into an infinity symbol at this point. It will never end when it comes to Twitter.
The American healthcare system. I, honest to God, got a bill for the EMTs telling me my son was dead. Wait, are you kidding me? Alpha males kick out extremely attractive women. We had several extremely attractive women begging to join us. I told them to get bent. The hot tub is for alpha males. Yeah, I don't know, man. It looks like the only thing getting bent here is your boys. Went to Burger King this morning for a Diet Coke, and there was only one person working in the whole building. This is happening everywhere in Ohio. Isn't socialism grand? I just can't get over someone going to Burger King in the morning for just a Diet Coke. Yeah, like, you can't go to like the 7-Eleven down the street or something. Come on, you'd probably save money. Oh, yeah, I love Burger King. Oh, what do you get? Diet Coke. Mothers shouldn't be forced to do this. Sometimes a mother got to do what a woman has to do. I respect this. I mean, yeah, I respect it, but damn, mothers should not have to do this. That is, wow. Wonder how that property life is treating her. Make women property again? Only beta males vote for women? Why would you advocate to, do you want your rights gone, man? You know how long women fought for that shit? That's insane. You airdrop a billionaire into a third world country with $5 in his pocket, and within a few years, he will be a millionaire. There are traits, skills, and characteristics financially super successful people have to maximize what they have. They know how to play any hand dealt. Question: what can we do about lowering the cost of daycare? JD Vance. Maybe grandpa and grandma want to help a little bit more. Maybe there's an uncle and aunt who wants to help a little bit more. Kamala Harris tweets, an undocumented immigrant is not a criminal. Elon Musk, please note that this is an actual statement from Kamala. Ron Filipkowski, it is simply a correct statement of the law in the United States. It is not a criminal act. Christian gets schooled in his own faith. Saw your libtard comment on the student loan forgiveness post. You all is an entitled generation, gotta hand it to you. Back in my days, we paid for everything ourselves, dressed modestly, feared God. Hi there, God-fearing man. I just want to let you know that the Bible says loans should be forgiven every 7 years. Joke, where it says it. Deuteronomy 15:1-3. You know that book you base your whole life on? You should read it sometime. Well, how about that? Also, let me just remind you that the entirety of your faith is built on a debt that you couldn't pay, that someone else stepped in and paid for you. The American education system had us knowing the names of the 3 boats Columbus came on better than the tribes whose land we live on. Yeah, never forget, we were not here first. Your Netflix binge watching makes climate change worse, says experts. The emissions generated by watching 30 minutes of Netflix is the same as driving almost 4 miles. Cool to guilt trip ordinary people for every tiny thing that might spark joy, while oil execs dip their hands in big barrels of dinosaur juice to lube up every time they have a wank. From the This Definitely Happened files. Eric Trump says he worked minimum wage jobs since he was 11 years old on construction sites, cutting rebar, working a backhoe, clearing trees, and doing electrical and plumbing work. Well, it sounds like more than his daddy's ever done. Quarter 4. My baby daddy got promoted, so I appealed for more child support. He ordered a DNA test and my son failed. He put the results in my mailbox. I forgave myself for cheating, but he's being petty. He's been my son's dad for 8 years. Why ghost my child now? How to fix it? Hashtag SBCCHAT. Nothing wrong with gaming while in your 30s. Tim Walls was so addicted to the Sega Dreamcast that his wife had to unplug it and hide it away. This is reported as a fun, relatable story, but doesn't anybody else find a 35-year-old man getting that addicted to video games a little sad? Or dare I say, weird? Fellas, is it weird to have hobbies as a 35-year-old man? We did it, fellas! This is great news. We've hired the classicist Spencer Clavin to teach at a new college of Florida. Goodbye gender studies, hello Greek literature. Greek literature may not be the refuge from queerness they are expecting. I don't date women my age. Y'all already stuck in your ways. Need me a 21 to 24-year-old up-and-comer who can help run my kingdom. What the fuck does that... You sound so weird. Anyways, I want to groom young women because women my age won't allow me to manipulate them. Say it with your chest now. How did she move where her hair was growing from? I know during the Salem witch trials they was listening to stupid people and burning women up. So what happened? You are an idiot. Remember the 1970s and 80s when no one was autistic, gluten intolerant, or transgender? So what happened? Lou Reed and his trans girlfriend Rachel Humphreys in the mid-70s. You fucking moron. Sorry, you fucking bigoted moron idiot piece of shit. There we go, that felt better. Average rent is $2,000. Average income, $50,000. 1990, average rent, $500. Average income, $30,000. It's simple. Rent has gone up 4 times. Income hasn't even doubled. Maybe millennials aren't broke due to the avocado toast. My insurance, which previously denied my chemotherapy, has denied my radiation that was due to start in 4 hours because I do not appear to have the amount of cancer they want me to have in order to be approved. Jesus Christ, man. I don't like to say that. Like, I'm not really a pessimistic guy. I like to say pretty positive, but when I hear like this, it makes me think, boy howdy, we are cooked. This aged well. J.K. Rowling says she would happily serve prison time over her transphobic views. Wait, did I miss something? Is J.K. Rowling going to prison? That's awesome. Oh, Elon Musk and J.K. Rowling could be handed 5-year prison sentences and fined up to £214,000. Holy crap. Well, I mean, that's not really that much to them, but if Olympic boxer Emmanuel Kelif wins criminal cyberbullying case. I really like my new t-shirt. No vaccine needed. I have an immune system. Why are you wearing glasses when you have eyes? It's just too easy with these folks. Ladies, if you f*** one guy a day for $100, that's $365,000 you made in 1 year. Bitches with degrees not making that. Be your own boss. Bitches with degrees know that will only add up to $36,500. This dude is currently $40,000 in debt as the outcome of doing the new viral Chase money glitch. Dude, like, it astounds me how people can think something like this will happen. They'll do it, take advantage of it, and you just won't have any repercussions? Like, dude, this is money. Like, this is not a video game. This is real life, pal. When you hire a lawn company and they mow the wrong house. Hello, Gia. This is Jesselyn from Just Right Lawns. We spoke on the phone a few minutes ago. I reviewed your account and found the picture below. The image shows the service was completed. I can see that we were at your property from 9:15 a.m. to 9:50 a.m. on Wednesday, 8/21/2024. If you would like cancel, we can waive the $30 cancellation fee. However, you will still have to pay us for the services rendered. Jesselyn, that is not my house, so you all serviced the wrong house. Also, I think you went too far into the future. You got the wrong long day. Oh yeah, looks like I'm a professor now. There's a subset of women who waste their entire lives for a photo op of credentials that would get you left swiped as a man. What do you have to worry about? You're not a man, you sound like a boy. Call me old-fashioned, but if I were a parent, I'd quite like to know whether my son Sam was showing up at school as Samantha. If you don't already know, there's a reason she's not telling you. It's you. You're the problem. Some people are so inconsiderate. I won't name camp in QLD, but to the owner of the little white car in the car park, why park so close to my truck? I park like this to avoid getting my doors bumped. You spend over $130,000 for something ABD. See how you like it, pal. Nah, I think you park like that because you're an entitled piece of shit truck owner who thinks he has a huge cock. Hide your pets from Kamala. Cat turd ran over his dog in March 2024. Businessman threatens to fire workers who don't answer their phones after hours. Who dreams this crap up? Kevin O'Leary slams new rule that allows employees to ignore their bosses after hours. Dude, if I'm at work, yeah, okay, you're my boss. Let me know what I gotta do, whatever. If I'm not at work, dude, I'm not at work. You don't exist to me. Their photos were used without their permission. TikTok pisses me off so bad, bro. I don't use my face for no shit like this. If he ain't white, it ain't right. If he ain't blonde, there's no bond. Hashtag white boys do it best. This happened to me too, bro. It's so weird. Something I'm not afraid to admit as a black girl. White girls are always prettier than us, and they always have the most beautiful eye colors, and we just have boring brown eyes, and all the boys want them and never want us, and we all secretly wish we were white instead of black. Oh, fuck no. Yeah, I think that's an appropriate response. You gotta love the pick-me type of person. This is how women should dress at the gym. See, ladies, it's not hard. You can do it too. Believe in yourself and stop being a whore. Dude, that looks like you'd sweat up a storm in it. Also, tell Fred Durst to get a smaller hat. His head looks like a damn oval. Fox host Larry Kudlow rages that Biden's climate plan will force Americans to drink plant-based beer. Oh no. It's really funny how America and the UK stopped investing in infrastructure in the 1980s because the free market will pave potholes and make the trains run on time, and now literally nothing works and you cannot go anywhere or do anything but like 4 people are richer than God. Straight up racism. Bro, Lamau, my job hired me with my American name and declined me with my African name. They don't know I'm the same person. Yikes. Racist guy is upset that he can't be racist at a local grocery store. Equality, respect, responsibility. We are committed to inclusion and do not tolerate discrimination, harassment, or racism. 1 out of 5 stars. From the moment you enter the doors, they remind you not to be racist. They put up posters warning their clients to not be racist. Why shop at a place that treats you this way? That treats people with equality? What? There is something incredibly wrong with your head if you see that and you're like, okay, now hold on just a second. You ever watch a rich person's expression change when you ask a question that's too poor? I once bragged to a coworker that I got my outfit from thrifting, and my boss took me aside and said to not say I shop at thrift stores because it made him look bad, like he didn't pay me enough. Reader, he didn't pay me enough. Broke people need savings, but big companies can't handle a bad week? VeggieTales facts. Isn't it weird that people living paycheck to paycheck are supposed to have months of worth of savings for emergencies while billion-dollar corporations are so poorly managed they're on the brink of bankruptcy after a week of reduced profits? This might be the most serious thing you've ever posted. It's my favorite VeggieTales fact. Simone Biles flaunts her Birkins, Range Rover, and Texas mansion, but the $25 million Olympic gymnast has given no handouts to her penniless birth mom who works as a cashier to make ends meet. Her mom abandoned her. Source, literally you. Liquidated my entire portfolio and put it into $DJT stock. You didn't? Stay poor, liberals. He's now lost 74% of his portfolio value. A strange world. I'll never get how people who can't afford to pay for their food will applaud a dude in a gold carriage. Subway announces a new price for footlongs as it enters the value menu wars. Subway is owned by a private equity firm that raised the prices on their $5 footlongs up to $14. Now the price back down to $6.99. It was never about inflation. It was a private equity firm using inflation as an excuse to price gouge customers. Always expose corporate greed. Breaking. Taliban bans the sound of women's voices singing or reading in public. What a bunch of sad, useless, pathetic fucks. Apparently, tampons are perverted now. Why the fuck would Republican politicians not want girls and women to have access to tampons? What kind of bullshit is this? Do they want to them to bleed all over the place? Do they want them to be confined to their homes? Do you Republican voters see this? I heard all their arguments. Not once did I hear of the girls that have their first periods while at school. Life-altering embarrassment even though it shouldn't be. It is an age that can define your future. Free tampons could change the future of a young girl's life. Christians don't want their kids using tampons and potentially destroying virginity. You can be on the safe side by using pads and tissue only until marriage. That's why it's a private issue and teachers shouldn't. Libs are so perverted about that. What the f*** do you mean? You're the pervert. You're the one saying, oh, girls should keep their virginity. They can't use tampons. Are you listening to yourself? That is... Oh my god, I gotta breathe real quick. Researchers estimate that if the top 1% of Americans paid the full amount of taxes they owed, it would raise $175 billion a year. That's just unpaid taxes, not new or higher taxes. How about we make them pay their fair share and use the money to invest in the American people? Think before you speak. Tim Walz is 60. His son is 17. That means he had him at age 43. That's spoiled semen. So yeah, do you drink 47-year-old dairy milk? Trump was 60 when he had Barron. MAGAs never think before they speak. The USPS is not a business. The USPS is viewed favorably by 91% of Americans despite billions in losses annually. It's a service. It doesn't lose money. It costs money. No one says the military loses $750 billion a year. America, where poor rural people will vote to lose their own social security because they're scared billionaires may have to pay more tax. Why did he tweet this? Fine, Taylor, you win. I will give you a child and guard your cats with my life. I am so incredibly out of the loop of all this, I couldn't give less of a shit, so I don't get it. Kind of impressive. Wendy's manager steals $20,000 by creating a ghost employee, then pocketing his wages. I'm actually shocked something like that has not happened before. I mean, maybe it has, but damn, $20,000? Whew. Teachers can only deduct $250 in school supplies on their taxes, but billionaire Harlan Crow can write off his super yacht. Why? Because millionaire politicians funded by billionaires and corporations write tax law for billionaires. We need a Congress for working people, not the 0.1%. Women should not vote. Unfortunately, her endorsement will matter a lot. Taylor Swift's fan base is overwhelmingly women with an IQ of 86 that lack critical thinking skills and think Trump equals bad misogynist. I mean, he is. Women are far more susceptible to propaganda than men are. If we repealed the 19th and women didn't vote, we wouldn't have to worry about Kamala being president. Women vote on emotion and celebs, which is exactly what the Democrats use in their campaigns. Facts are facts. How old are you? Women vote on their emotions? Are we still doing the thing? Oh, women are so emotional. They don't. The unexpected self-confession. Andrew Tate's best girl would make $40,000 a month on webcam. Andrew would keep $36,000 of it. I know how desperate guys are. It seems inadvisable to go on a podcast and explain how your sex trafficking ring works. This is some weird stuff. Trump supporters are carrying around cups of J.D. Vance's sperm. Quote-unquote weird Republicans mock Democrats who can't start families with cups of J.D. Vance's semen. I'm just imagining one of these guys like going to a rally and they're like, oh shit, oh damn it, I forgot my cup of sperm.
We are truly living in the wildest timeline. There's something to be said about getting a 41-game suspension for gambling while being forced to wear a gambling ad on your own helmet every night. Bet 99! Nuh-uh. I have a systematic plan to infect Paris with bedbugs. Apparently the Paris bedbug situation was done by some guy on 4chan on purpose, breeding them for months and making videos purposely releasing them on trains, hotels, and public areas he was in 5 months ago. Okay, so we're gonna like bury him, right? Well, come over. Gotta get dressed. We're gonna have to go on the back porch. My mom is in the basement right now. It's not hot out, so we good. Kick your mom out. Tell her you're the alpha male. Patrick, she's the sole breadwinner. That's not a good idea. Ah, smart guy. We don't talk enough about how stressful Halloween costumes are for the ADHD community. OMG, you people can't do anything. I have ADHD. What the hell are you talking about? What does that mean? I'm so confused by that statement. We don't claim you as a real Jew. My last name is Bernstein. My great-grandparents emigrated from Poland to Brooklyn. I don't need to be claimed by a stranger on Instagram. Poland is like 90% Catholics, but I understand your point. What? They can't quite put their finger on it. Vance thinks something's missing after Dwayne Johnson's waxwork was unveiled. Did they make him white? I'm pretty sure he said after this came out, he's like, hey, so you need to fix, first and foremost, my skin tone? It's missing a white t-shirt, a gold hoop earring, and a sign that says Mr. Clean. That too! Hi, excuse me, I just found out the professor for this online course I'm taking died in 2019, and he's technically still giving classes since he's literally my professor for this course, and I'm learning from lectures recorded before his passing. It's a great class, but what? Look, if it's something he was okay with and his family was okay with, fine. At least the school didn't own his likeness, do a AI recreation of his ass like a lot of people are trying to do now, and dangling his dead corpse like that in front of you. I'm a black cop on the scene of a shooting one night, using a flashlight to look for bullet casings between houses to collect as evidence. Dispatch gets a call of a suspicious-looking black male in police clothes using a flashlight to look into people's houses. My name is B. Hayes. I'm 18 years old and I've been attending Nashville Christian School for 13 years. My senior prom was today, and I wasn't allowed in the doors because I was wearing a suit. I should not have to conform to femininity to attend my senior prom. I will not compromise who I am to fit in a box. Who are you to tell us what it means to be a woman? I do think that is some of the lamest I've ever seen. You were wearing a suit? Oh no. No. You see, if you don't wear a dress, how do we know you're lady? How do we know? Jada Pinkett Smith reveals that she and Will Smith have been separated for 7 years. I don't fucking care. I don't think Will knew, though. Just her. This guy says India's work culture must change. Youngsters should work 70 hours a week. Why don't you work 70 hours a week? Why don't you get back on the fucking line and work 70 hours a week, asshole? Yes, impeach him for the crime of walking on the beach. He should be impeached. The world burns and he walks on the beach. American hostages be damned. Yeah, but the guy that played golf 50 fucking hours a day wasn't the problem. Trying to find chaos when there's no reason to. My tenant continually submits rent payment on the 5th of the month. The lease does offer a 5-day grace period. What's the best way to handle this situation? Let me get this straight. The tenant pays. The tenant pays the full amount. The tenant pays the full amount within the period allowed by the lease. All correct, yes? Then what should you do? Cash the check, say thank you for being an outstanding tenant, and stop complaining. Yeah, holy crap. What a pathetic goddamn question to ask. How can I screw this toll over who completely abides by the rules of our lease and pays everything on time in full? Can I kill him or something? Landlords, dude. While American YouTuber MrBeast's goal was to provide clean drinking water for 500,000 people, activists say his actions shamed the Kenyan government and helped perpetuate the stereotype that Africa's dependent on handouts. I heard a lot of people retorting at Yahoo News about this, like, yeah, doesn't the Kenyan government need a little bit of shaming? Just at this point, them specifically? Oh, man. See, I understand some certain points about the type of content that he creates, but he's doing at least a little bit of what I wished everybody with infinite goddamn money would do. Anything! Build some libraries, help some people out, do something that affects not billionaires in a good way. You know, people like Elon Musk have the ability to fix so many problems so fast just by dumping their infinite goddamn money on things. And look, I've already ranted about, he doesn't have liquid wealth. Like, yeah, he does when he wants to buy fucking Twitter. Sure, those people can help a lot. This guy is nowhere near those people's net worth, and he's doing more than they fucking ever have, man. Mental health care is healthcare, Mr. President. That's why it has no place in public schools. What? Mental health care is healthcare. That's why I'm proud to have released a new national strategy to... I'm sure you did. Read what you wrote here. Yes, healthcare has no place in public schools. I'm confused. They felt vulnerable and victimized by children's artwork. Hospital removes Gaza artwork from hospital corridor. We're delighted to report that Chelsea and Westminster Hospital has removed the display of artwork designed by children from... We're moving on. Fucking A. When a car is affordable housing, dozens of parking lots have opened across the U.S. for working people who earn too little to afford rent, but too much to receive government assistance and have turned their cars into a form of affordable housing. Dozens of parking lots of it. How much do you have to pay to park there? There's always an opportunistic little bitch. Do you have... I'm guessing you have a nightly goddamn fee. What's that, $20 a night or something like that? Yeah, that's great. Well, it is wild to think. There are approximately 2 billion parking spots in the U.S. Oh, man. Wonder how many of them sit empty all the time. Oh, tons of them. So Mike Johnson adopted his 14-year-old black son when he was 25 and unmarried. Matt Gaetz adopted a 14-year-old Cuban immigrant named Nestor when he was 30 and unmarried. Both are powerful Republicans now in the House. Can anyone help me understand what's going on here? Dude, I don't fucking know. That's not why I took this job. Not to know things. It's fun that some folks think a secret group of rich people control everything instead of a widely known group of rich people that control everything. It's not secret. There is no Illuminati out there, folks. They are in the open because they know there's nothing we can do for now, or nothing we will do for now. Should I be concerned about my relationship? My 39 male girlfriend, 26 female, is about to start chemo in a few weeks. I know our sex life is going to change. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so they're going through chemo, they've got cancer, and you're just thinking about why don't you go jerk off into a towel like I hope you have to do for the rest of your life? I get that it's not her fault, but sex is a very big part of our relationship. Right now, it's not. I try not to stress her out, but I want to be honest, and it's gonna be 7 months or so, and I'm nervous we're not gonna make it. That is completely and 100% your own fault, and your own problem. You know, I've always found you immensely physically attractive, but with your disability, it's like you're only half a man to me. I don't know, it sounds rude. You weigh almost 250 pounds. It's like you're actually 2.5 women to me. I don't know, it sounds rude. You're the biggest asshole. What's his disability? You know what? It doesn't matter. That was a gross statement. Wisconsin high school cheerleaders received awards for biggest breasts, but at banquet. High school? Wow, we should... Just fucking wow. Ben finds out his friends don't care about his feelings. Benini Shabibo throws a fit after Tuckle Cuckelson suggests Americans should be more concerned with the 100,000 annual OD deaths in the U.S. than the 500 foreigners who died 7,000 miles away. He's not concerned about any of those things. Mom shares colorful travel hack to keep toddlers quiet on flights. Destroy the shit that you're flying in. I know that drawing on the wall doesn't destroy it. I get it. It's a joke. Calm the f*** down. My frustration with young people is that they think success is supposed to happen like that. She's full of shit. Young people don't expect for things to happen like that. They expect to at least be able to find a job after graduating and being $80,000 in debt, not having to move back in with their parents, not having insurance, not having any foreseeable chance of retiring. Yeah, but unfortunately, like most billionaires, Oprah forgot where the f*** she started, absolutely forgot that she was not always one of the richest women in the world. And yeah, sure, it's just so sad, dude. How do you come from nothing, right? How do you actually climb out of that hole and then have such shitty statements like that? No, young people are not fucking stupid like you all like to pretend. We got absolutely reamed, all right? What I always hear, we can't afford to pay our workers $15 an hour. What I never hear, we can't afford to pay our CEO millions of dollars a year. I don't think there's ever been a CEO worth as much as they're often paid, ever. And you know what? Unfortunately, at this point, the $15 an hour is useless. Sure, it's a little more, for sure, especially over federal minimum wage and whatnot, but it's not enough to fucking live anywhere still. That's kind of what we're trying to go for. Unless we put limits on corporations buying single-family houses, 90% of us are going to end up as lifelong renters, and the U.S. will be one giant network of Pottersvilles. I don't know what that is, but yeah, how have we not made this illegal yet? A corporation's not a person. It's not a family. It does not deserve housing because it's not a living entity. It's just a group of arrogant douchebags stealing as much as they can from everybody else and providing the worst fucking products of all time 9 times out of 10. Sniper Wolf just doxed me on her Instagram. Creepy, gross, violating. What you do is disgusting. You steal content and stalk YouTubers. Demonetize this dangerous creator or just get her off of your platform. She posted on Instagram right outside of our home and then deleted it. Yeah, that whole situation is still pathetic to me. It sucks that I heard that even if Jack did pursue some legal action, as he should be able to, he probably would not win that. That was just something I read. That may not be the case. I hope that's not the case. I hope he is able to sue and absolutely annihilate in this case. I've known Jack for quite some time, and he does not deserve to now be considering fucking moving from the home that he has been in for a long time. That is pathetic, and Sniper Wolf fucking Fucking yikes, man. Just yikes. In 2022, 88-year-old Ida, I'm not going to mispronounce your last name, died after nurses accidentally injected chicken soup into her veins instead of her feeding tube. How do you accidentally do that? I'd like to know. Democrats think prison will stop Trump, but after he wins and pardons himself, you'll have this to deal with. Tim, you are so gay. And I don't mean homosexual. That is... Oh, dude. Did he really post this? I know the guy's a dip. Did he really post this? Oh, dude. This man is our speaker, Mike Johnson, on his wife Kelly not being in attendance for his ascension to House Speaker. She spent the last couple of weeks on her knees in prayer to the Lord, and she's a little worn out. Okay, dude. Cool. Isn't this the guy who checks his son's usage? And his son also monitors his? I mean, I don't know. You read some weird stuff on the internet, man. Warner Bros. Never fired Amber Heard from Aquaman 2 because her former boyfriend, Elon Musk, had one of his litigators send a scorched earth letter threatening to burn the house down if the actress wasn't brought back for a sequel, says a source. What was he gonna do? I'm not kidding. What was he going to be able to do? See, these motherfuckers like to pretend like billionaires are...
Well, they picked themselves up by their bootstraps and, they just worked really hard on the farm and...
Like, dude, no. Look at that shit. He clearly knows he has the ability to do something, and the threat apparently worked. So, no, these aren't regular people. They did not pick themselves up by their bootstraps. Look at this dude. How do you threaten Warner Brothers with the most vague shit I've ever seen and have it work? Harvard is named worst school for free speech, scoring 0 out of a possible 100. Okay. My girlfriend is currently crying because she thought the $70 she wanted to spend on adopting a koala bear from the Australian brush fires was actually going to physically get her a koala bear. Like they would just FedEx that to us and not just her become a sponsor. That's kind of weird that she would think she would get a fucking koala bear or koala, whatever. I know they're not bears. That's probably the weakest argument I've heard, defending a healthcare system that kills 50,000 people a year. 50,000 people a year? Show me well-researched statistics. That's 45,000 lol. You're stupid. You're fucking stupid. My third grader came home with this today from school, excited to show me how he'd written his name in Chinese. I had to gently explain to him that this, is extremely not correct. Doctor doesn't know what skin-to-skin contact is. Men cannot breastfeed. You can put your shirts on now and call them mother. These men are not attempting to breastfeed. They're engaging in skin-to-skin contact, a practice proven to be beneficial for newborns. Yes, it is proven. I'm so tired of this particular thing. Everybody is shitting on new dads who are there, they're excited, they're happy because, oh, you cried when your son was born? You're such a fucking loser. Quit acting like a woman. Why are you... Put your shirt on. That's so fucking gross and weird and creepy. Like, no, you're just jealous they had sex. This is so stupid. This is how women should dress at the gym. See, ladies, it's not hard. You can do it too. Believe in yourself and stop being a whore. Shut the actual fuck up. True story. Harvard Business School rejected me in 91. When I got the news, I checked to see if they'd cashed my $100 application fee check. They hadn't. So I did a stop payment. When they called trying to collect, I suggested they could learn a business lesson from this. Yeah, what are they gonna do? Not let you into the school? Oh, mamma mia. Incredibly proud to have voiced Mario and Luigi in Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Thanks to Nintendo for inviting me into the Flower Kingdom. Great. A pronoun person is now Mario. What the hell? Screw that. Get the OG back. No pronoun people in my Nintendo. Oh, it must be such a tortured existence being that pathetic. So sad. Math is hard. I mean, yeah, that's correct. That is not how, nor has it even been how parentheses work. By your logic, I don't care. It's not that he gets it wrong. It's how sure he is. I went out and surveyed my town for worker shortages. Jobs paying $30 an hour or more, no shortage. 25 to 30, no shortage. 20 to 25, no shortage. 15 to 20, a couple help wanted signs. Jobs paying less than $15 an hour, shortage. Now, if only there was a solution. I've said it before, I'll say it again. If you work a job at all, you deserve to live. You deserve food, water, shelter. You deserve a life. You do. And if the business you're working for cannot afford to operate and make sure that you, as one of its employees, can live, they do not deserve to be in business, and that's all there is to it. Group of ladies make a list of places men shouldn't take them on the first date. So why is Cheesecake Factory at the top of this list, though? Can we ask about that? Because the Cheesecake Factory is, I don't know, it's fine. It's expensive. There's a lot to choose from. It's fine. But why is the Cheesecake Factory a worse first date than Applebee's? No, I'm serious. Any fast food chain. We go on a Taco Bell. Like, I love this. What do you do? I'm not kidding. What do you do? Because all the 28 things right here, all I could think of, man. What do you do? A bar for just drinks. What do you want? What is it you want? Wikipedia is not for sale. I will give them $1 billion if they change their name to Wikipedia. You know what? They absolutely should have taken him up on that. You know he wouldn't have paid. But he's done this game before. I will give you this much money if you do this. They do it. Nuh-uh, I won't. But they should absolutely take him up on that offer. Change the name. Once the check clears, change it back. Because he clearly did not outline a specific amount of time. He didn't say permanently. He didn't say that at all. So screw that guy. I have a date with a guy this weekend, and he asked me what my budget was so he could pick a nice restaurant for us. Budget? Am I paying for my meal? Yeah, that's kind of how this works. There's nothing wrong with, being the guy paying for everything, being the gentleman. There's nothing wrong with that. But there's also nothing wrong with not doing that, because y'all are both adults. And there you go. Oh, hey, it's Dean Browning, who is a black gay guy, and he can personally say that Obama did nothing for him. Forgot to switch accounts, pal. Daily active users on mobile apps globally changed from October of 2022. Snapchat, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Snapchat's that high? Damn. I mean, I use it, but I thought most people were starting to abandon it. X, formerly Twitter. It was not formerly Twitter, it is Twitter. Also, I read somewhere that the valuation of the company went from 44 billion, right before Muskie Boy, and it's now valued at 19. The dude is a business genius. Masterful gambit, sir. Yes.
Until the day I die, I will never understand how this wasn't the end of it. Stephen King doesn't know either. He even said it. Me either. I accidentally submitted a paper worth 35% of my grade with this intro because I was tired and forgot to delete it. I'm gonna cry. Oh, I'm sure it can't be that bad, so let's see it. Orwell's 1984. Big Brother's manipulating you. What a lovely thing to write about. Buckle your seatbelts, motherfucker. Oh, great. Okay. Because in 8 short pages, I'm going to teach you something that I only learned 2 hours ago. So sit down, shut up, and enjoy the experience of my 4 a.m. caffeine-induced self-hatred-filled writing extravaganza. Setting up some high expectations there, Soph. I better see a goddamn extravaganza then. Law enforcement source. 19 officers fired into UPS truck could exceed 200 rounds. Oh my God. Thank God the cops opened fire and killed the 2 suspects, the hostage and a random passerby, or the bad guys would have gotten away with some insured jewelry in their easily identifiable super slow moving UPS truck that was already being GPS tracked and had a helicopter following it. Thank goodness they dropped potentially over 200 rounds with 19 officers. Protect and serve. Women weren't allowed to open a bank account in the USA until 1974? Marriages used to last. Nah, bro, your grandma was chained by the ankle. So I had to Google this. In 1974, it was the Equal Credit Opportunity Act, and it gave every American woman, married or not, the right to open her own bank account or credit account. That's just... The fact that in the 70s, just in like 2 years prior, 1972, a woman couldn't get a bank account or credit card on her own if she was unmarried. If she was married, she still couldn't get it on her own. Her husband had to qualify. Insane that was that early ago, right? Most of our major advancements progressively are not that long ago. It's bizarre to think about. This is the saddest I've ever read. No wonder Elon wants to get rid of the block function. Oh boy, it's a novel, let's go. Attending the Super Bowl as a guest of Rupert Murdoch. Already, wow. Musk had one of the most luxurious seats in the house. But rather than watching the game, he was glued to his phone in dismay. Oh no, why? Both he and President Biden had sent tweets cheering on the Philadelphia Eagles. But even though Biden had far fewer followers than Musk on the platform, the president's tweet garnered 29 million views to Musk's meager, pathetic 8.4 million views. The audacity. Livid, Musk demanded that his engineers find out why his tweet was underperforming Biden's. Imagine getting that email. Just 2 tweets. Why? Just why in all caps. He left the game early to fly back to a San Francisco office where dozens of employees were summoned to meet him on a Sunday night. Oh, and you're bringing them to work on the weekend. Eventually, to placate their boss, the engineers tweaked Twitter's algorithm to boost Musk's posts, pushing them into users' feeds whether they follow him or not. In effect, Musk's tweets would have higher priority over any other post, write Conger and Mack, technology reporters for the New York Times. As they put it toward the end of the book, a man allergic to criticism had bought himself the largest audience in the world and hoped for praise. No wonder he and Trump get along. I can't imagine being the Twitter employee, I guess the handful of employees that get the Slack message from Elon where he just sends a sad face with Biden and his tweets next to each other. Why? Well, great. Elon's upset again. We got to give him something we got to help him color. We got to help Elon color today. Great. Eric Adams got free, quote, gifts of luxury commercial flights and fancy hotel stays, totaling in the 6 figures. And he just got indicted by the feds. Clarence Thomas got free, quote, gifts of private jet and yacht trips, totaling over $4 million. And nothing is happening to him. He's just aging. Time is making his connection to his mortal coil slip ever so further. But otherwise, nothing. In 2024, only 2 states voted unanimously. Let's compare. First, Oklahoma. 44th in education, 49th in healthcare, 44th in quality of life, 50th in test scores, and the top 10 worst poverty. Versus Massachusetts. First in education, 2nd in healthcare, 1st in quality of life, 1st in test scores, top 10 least poverty. Maybe, it doesn't matter who you vote for, man. Red versus blue, bro. They're gonna keep fighting those gravel wars, dog. Doesn't matter which company you back. So this is meaningless to me, because that's what this is about, what TF2 company they support. An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal. Please note that this is an actual statement from Kamala. What do you guys say, Ron? Well, it's simply a correct statement of the law in the United States. It's not a criminal act to be an undocumented, it's not a crime, Elon. So yeah, that she said it, and that it's true. Dude, these like AI photos of Elon, oh my god, I've seen these, and they're just so annoying to look at. I vowed to destroy the woke mind virus. Why are you saying like he's a gladiator? And I will. Wow, man, you're gonna do that by making your engineers see every tweet you post, even though people block you, and that's why we got rid of the block feature? Is that why? Dude. They realized that towing the giant Elon head in a Cybertruck was miserable, so they switched to a Toyota. I don't even need to make a joke here. Why did they have a giant Elon bust? What is going on? Why is he like a video game villain making statues of himself in his own honor? What's happening? They're already having issues. Speaking of Cybertrucks, the headlights are sunken in for some reason. This means there is a shelf to hold snow in front of the lights and block them. Now, every car has to have the snow cleared off the headlights before you drive. But this is way worse. That shelf collects snow as you drive. People have to pull over and clear the snow off mid-drive because suddenly they lose their headlight privileges. Was that by design, Elon? We are very grateful to the thousands of Americans who have expressed interest in helping us at DOGE, otherwise known as the Department of Government Efficiency. We don't need more part-time idea generators. We need super high IQ small government revolutionaries willing to work 80+ hours per week on unglamorous cost cutting. If that's you, DM this account with your CV. Elon and Vivek will review the top 1% of applicants. This account's been given a gray checkmark verifying it as an official government account. It also only accepts resumes by DMs, which are solely open to verified ex-users who pay Elon Musk. The level of corruption is staggering. You gotta pay Elon to get even to be sniffed at for this bull job. Incredible stuff. I'm listening to Republican strategist Sarah Longwell on NPR talking about public opinion of Trump's tyrannical posture, and she just said, when I asked voters in focus groups if they think Donald Trump is an authoritarian, the #1 response by far is, what's an authoritarian? And you could see why that would be troublesome. Trump has now a lot of this is politics, man, and I know I just cut myself off. I don't think EmKay should be a politics-focused channel. I think we live in times where, politics need to be solved by a wrestling match. That's what I need to see. I need to see old-school wrestling promos done. I want to get behind a baby face and boo a heel. That's what I need to see. Because right now, we're just living in times where some 80-year-old dude's like, I don't like this, I want to burn it down and make a little thing for me to sit on. I sit on it and I make my decisions. I'm on my phone, tweeting away. That's what I like to do. And then we have someone else going like, you're evil! And then he's like, I don't even know what that word means. Never heard it before. Not in my dictionary. That must be a Democrat China dictionary. I don't need that, man. I'm tired, boss. I hate it here. Trump has now reaffirmed his plan to eliminate the U.S. Department of Education. For the record, that department funds, among other things, all the special education and special needs programs in public schools and public colleges in all 50 states. So, we're making great investments in our future. Oh, horrible. Hate it here. Mark Cuban is proof that morons can become billionaires. That is so crazy, dude. I could have sworn this was an Elon tweet, but I think this is an account. This is a tweet from Pot, and it's calling the kettle black. That's insane. What's going on? An employee put in a PTO request. I denied it for the needs of the business. He went anyway. Came back to no job. So y'all can front if y'all want. For the needs of the business? You wouldn't let him take off because the business needed him, but you were comfortable with firing him, so yeah, no. Can't take any of that time off you need. We need you here. We're a family. But if you go anyway, we didn't need you that bad. Yeah, pack your and leave. We didn't need you that bad. We didn't want you anyway. Why does this business sound like incel logic? In case you missed it, Trump showed up in hurricane-ravaged Asheville today, shutting down roads folks were using to get food, medicine, and water, and proceeded to stand in front of a completely destroyed property so he could receive a French fry pin. Yes, really. Just stand there, put this one right next to the flag pin. Look at that, I got 2 pins on my shirt, fry and flag, and watch be kissed. Little kiss between the fry and the flag. How beautiful, wow. Why? Why was he there? For what? Yeah, man, that's a clown show. Thinking about how when Trump got shot, his supporters wore ear bandages to show their support for him. But when kids and teachers got shot at school, they wore AR-15 pins to show how much they support AR-15s. Ear bandages and gun pins. That's the party. It's a party of the GOP. Horrible. And he's just a row of people with ear bandages in solidarity. But then a group of students get shot down and they're like, someone's got to think about the guns. No, they at least think about them in a way of how to mitigate the damage, maybe. Finland ended homelessness. They provide a small apartment and counseling with no preconditions. 4 out of 5 make their way back into a stable life, and guess what? It was cheaper than allowing homelessness to continue. Let that sink in. They ended homelessness. They saw a problem they needed solving and just ended it. Yeah, but that's not as profitable for our capitalist overlords now, is it? I can't make $1 off of that. I'm bought and paid for. I can't make money off of that. I just think it's a clown world, dude. I think things need change. As a disabled veteran, I was separated from my wife and kids for years when serving my country and never complained once. I waited in line for 2.5 years for this operation at the VA. What a shame that people cross our border illegally and are treated better than our vets. What he was trying to say is, my imperial master sent me halfway around the world to get blown up, and then refused to fix my body afterward. For some reason, I'm mad at the immigrants now. That's their problem. That's their fault. How dare you make me go and do that? And now now I can't get fixed, and it's your fault. Yeah, the audacity. Q. What can we do about lowering the cost of daycare? From JD Vance. Maybe Grandpa and Grandma want to help a little bit more. Maybe there's an uncle or aunt who wants to help a little bit more. I don't know. I'm just saying it does take a village, right? So let's make it everyone else's problem. I think that's a perfect way we could do it. Rogan. Roe was the law of the land, and all of a sudden that had been taken away, and you have these men trying to dictate what women can and cannot do with their bodies. Vance, yeah, but women who go too far and try to celebrate it. Rogan, very few do that. I'm impressed by how small JD Vance's face is. I feel like it gets smaller every time I see him. Judge Facepalm's a perfect facepalm, a frame one facepalm, as Colorado County Clerk Tina Peters launches into hour-long speech on Trump when she's jailed for election tampering. Oh no. I can see why the facepalm was had. Elon Musk PAC fired and abandoned canvassers in Michigan who voiced concerns. Elon Musk paid black people to campaign for Trump in Michigan and then fired them and left them stranded in the streets when they complained about unsafe working conditions because they were being shipped around in the back of a U-Haul without seats or seat belts. Which, I would argue is unsafe. I just saw a woman on TikTok who knows Nick Fuentes' mother say that due to the doxing, he's currently staying with his mother at her home. Got doxed for his hatred of women, and a woman is helping him through it. A woman is where he ran for safety. Oh, dude, this whole story is so fascinating. Nick Fuentes of Your Body, My Choice fame has been doxed and is now whining all over social media that he, quote, doesn't feel safe. Karma was petty fast on that one. His safety, our choice, forever. Nick thought it was real funny woman didn't feel safe. He thought it was hilarious. Yeah, I think he's like arrested now, isn't he, for pepper spraying that one lady who went to his door? Ah, dude, it just keeps getting worse for that guy. Hold the f on, I'm holding. Trump voters with pre-existing conditions are out there crying now because they just realized Obamacare is the Affordable Care Act. The Affordable Care Act they just voted to repeal because they were good thanks to Obamacare? You kidding me? I keep saying we live in clown world. I don't think we're kidding you though. We're gonna keep getting headlines like that too. Elon Musk makes $16 million an hour and pays less in taxes than you. Jeff Bezos makes $4.2 million an hour and pays less in taxes than you. Mark Zuckerberg makes $4 million an hour and pays less in taxes than you. You should be mad about this, not critical race theory. You know what I'm mad about? I'm mad that all three of these guys had lame-ass verses in epic rap battles. I think they should go for a round two. Bad Bunny has endorsed Kamala Harris. He's not even American. Puerto Ricans are American citizens. My bad, I didn't want to be the one to tell you this, but yeah, you should look it up. The powers of the president will not be questioned, from a senior policy advisor. What does Theodore Roosevelt, actual president, have to say about this? To announce that there must be no criticism of the president, or that we are to stand by the president, right or wrong, is not only unpatriotic and servile, but is morally treasonable to the American public. Because he's a real ass OG. We love Theodore Roosevelt. What a gangster. Ben Shapiro. No one in the United States should be retiring at 65 years old. Frankly, I think retirement itself is a stupid idea unless you have some sort of health problem. Guy who talks into camera for a living doesn't understand why a construction worker, plumber, or nurse might want to retire at 65. This is being recorded way later from when this post was made. He also made a stupid post about the CEO thing that happened with the United Healthcare CEO getting murked in the cloak of night. And his comments were just reaming him, being like, no, Ben, actually, we don't like that guy. None of us are mourning here, Ben. So it's one of the first times I've ever seen people across all halls of political, walks of life agree on one thing, and CEOs are not happy about that, dog. We will never rewrite the Constitution of the United States. Marsha, if there wasn't a rewrite, you wouldn't be a senator and also couldn't vote. And I'd be enslaved. So there has and will continue to be rewrites of the Constitution. And that's to your benefit even, you're senator. Mark Zuckerberg's dad said he could go to Harvard or have a McDonald's franchise. Wow. What a crazy two choices. Oh, hard choice. He took a huge gamble by choosing neither, and now he's worth $100 billion. And the lesson here? Well, it's that taking big risks is easy when you have rich parents, because daddy'll save you. The people who threw rocks at Ruby Bridges for trying to go to school in 1960 are now upset that their grandchildren might learn about them throwing rocks at Ruby Bridges for trying to go to school. Time's a circle. Them, why would you want to homeschool your kids? Me. Can you tell me why the Civil War started? Them. Because of slavery? Me. Incorrect. And that's why I want to teach them, so I know they're being taught the truth. What? From my research, the major point was slavery. The documents created by the secessionists were they wanted slaves. The question was whether the Southern planter class should have the right to own humans, and then every other point of contention was secondary to that main point. I don't even think they get out of the preamble in some cases before they explicitly state that. Hold on, I have a thing here. It says, from Georgia, the people of Georgia, having dissolved their political connection with the government of the United States of America, presented their Confederates in the world the causes which have led to the separation. For the last 10 years, we have had numerous and serious causes of complaint against our non-slave holding Confederate states with reference to the subject of African slavery. That's Georgia. In Texas, we have a quote, again, a protecting institution known as slavery. Virginia had a similar thing. It was nuanced for sure. There was economic, political, and moral differences, but it was centered around slavery. That's how I understand it anyway. What's this person talking about? Project 2025 staffer's viral video on abortion massively backfires. Trump's former director of White House personnel, is that White House or yeah, it's gotta be White House, right? Went to TikTok to mock Harris's debate answer on abortion and challenged a single woman to come forward with a story similar to the one she described. It blew up in his face because nearly 10,000 did, because it's a healthcare issue, pal. The lady in Texas charged with murder for an abortion actually had a stillbirth, wasn't even an abortion. The DA is now looking to dismiss the case. Texas arrested this woman, charged her with murder, and sent her to jail after she had a stillbirth, which the state didn't differentiate from abortion. Incredible stuff. Ambulance hits Oregon cyclist. They rush him to hospital inside the ambulance, then bill him $1,800 for using their service. Because, hey man, should have watched where I was going. Like school bullies, dude. Horrible. Horrible. Texas State University one day after the election. And here we go. Oh boy. Brace yourselves. It's gonna be gross. Homosexual sin. Women are property. Yeah, great. Glad to see that the freaks are out right after the election. This is literally unconstitutional. Oklahoma orders all public schools to teach the Bible effective immediately. Any teacher who refuses could lose their license. Oh, you mean church versus state doesn't matter anymore in Oklahoma? That's crazy. There are now 16 centibillionaires worth $100 billion or more. These individuals have grown $414 billion richer this year alone and are worth a collective, mind-boggling, earth-shattering, brain-meltingly $2.4 trillion. And that is spread out among 16 people. Once again, it's not radical to tax the rich. It's radical to allow this level of extreme wealth concentration to continue. 2.4, can you even comprehend $2.4 trillion? I can't wrap my mind around that number as a feasible concept. I can't think of 2.4 trillion of anything. And 16 people have all that. Donald Trump names wrestling billionaire Linda McMahon co-founder of, oh no, she's the Secretary of Education. Why we have a WWE Hall of Famer as president and he's electing, we're gonna have, maybe I'll get my dream and that politics will be wrestling. Maybe we'll get that. Holy might happen. I just figured out why he's always doing this ass jump. He's trying to make an X because he thinks it's his brand or whatever. Pathetic moron. What's with this motherfucker's obsession with the letter X? He thinks it's the future. X is cool. I'm sure that's his thought process.
Zip tie bracelet. Got your rent on my wrist. What? Wait, what? What? No way. You mean to tell me I can go out and buy a colored zip tie wristband, bracelet, whatever you want to call it, and tell somebody who's rich, yeah, don't worry, I got this. It's the ambush purple nurple. That's what I got right here. Yeah, only cost me a cool $900. Yeah. Has anyone mentioned that the police will leave you alone if you don't do illegal stuff? Breonna Taylor was sleeping. Yeah, she was in freaking bed. But okay. Elon Musk's X now worth 71% less than when the billionaire bought it as Twitter. Well, it is still Twitter. I'm sorry. I'm just one of those people. I'm one of them. Okay. Always gonna be one of them. And ha ha ha. Ha 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 ha. You know what the best part is? Isn't he still one of the richest people on the planet? Like top 5 or something even after this purchase? Even after all that? Titanic. Rosa is on deathbed. Instead of thinking about her children and her husband, with who she has been living for 70 years, she remembers some homeless dude who screwed her on a boat. Millions of women consider this as a great love story. Yeah, she did have a whole family, didn't she? I don't know. It sounds like it was a traumatic event. Maybe she was like, yeah, that was the literal worst and scariest night of my life. You never forget your first kill. Fun fact, if the Earth was 10 feet closer to the sun, we would all burn up. And if it was 10 feet further away, we would freeze to death. God is amazing. Yeah, I was taught that in Sunday school when I was growing up Mormon. Took me a little while to go, wait, what? Wow, that's crazy. I know. Amen. To anyone wondering, that's not true. Earth's orbit is elliptical, and the distance from the sun varies from around 147 million kilometers to 152 million kilometers on any given year. 2, every star has a habitable zone that's affected by the size of the star and its intensity. The sun's habitable zone is about 0.95 AU to 1.73 AU, and AU is the Earth's average distance from the sun. 93 million miles, that is. So Earth's orbit could decrease by 4.5 million miles or increase by 34 million miles and still be in the habitable zone. If your claim was was true, any moderately sized earthquake could take us out of the habitable zone. Sorry. Okay, that's cool and all, but don't ever comment on my status telling me that I'm wrong ever again. Didn't ask you, did I? Answer: no. All right, well, when you post in any public way, and I know that it's probably just someone in your friends list, whatever, but when you make a post, you don't have to have asked a question for me to respond to it. The comment section is right there. I believe you can turn it off in most places if you don't want people to speak. I'm sorry. Just because you got embarrassed because you didn't fact check anything does not mean that you gotta be a little baby about it. Hi is gay. Hi, dad of 8 here. I change diapers and don't feel any less manly for doing so. Marriage and parenting are team sports. Imagine the embarrassment if your husband publicly makes a statement that begins with the word hi. Our society is so gay, and your bait is pathetically weak. Why don't you try to get a little bit better, sweetheart? McDonald's USA. Employee, $9 an hour, no benefits. Big Mac, $5.81. McDonald's Denmark. Employee, $22 an hour, 6 weeks vacation, 1 year paid maternity leave, life insurance, pension. Big Mac, $4.82. I pass by a local McDonald's a lot near our local Walmart, and for a little while they had a sign, or I say they had a sign, I meant their sign. You know, the one where they put up, oh, we're having a sale on burgies, or whatever. They were advertising that they were hiring, and they thought it was such a point of pride that they were hiring at $13 an hour. The Walmart that they were sitting in the parking lot of was starting at $17. I could not believe it. I was actually kind of impressed with Walmart for the first time ever, even though that's still not enough. Back to the time when the White House secretary publicly posted his password 2 days in a row. Oh, come on. Oh, it was him. Okay. Really? My 3rd grade biology teacher marked an answer on one of my tests as wrong because when asked about a mammal that lays eggs, I wrote platypus. According to him, the correct answer was penguin. Pardon me? At Kendall Jenner ate grilled cheese, fries, crepes, and more before hitting the Met Gala red carpet. Now that is bravery. I live in Syria, and this story gave me 2 strength to carry on. Thank you for sharing her story. Wow. Woman ate food. Some impressive stuff, I must say. Shakespeare didn't walk around putting pronouns in his plays. That's why they're classics. Imagine if this dude wrote, my name is Macbeth, and my pronouns are they, them. Imagine screwing up this tweet so badly, you picked a Shakespeare character that explicitly prays for sex reassignment. You had the entire opus to choose from, and you picked wrong. What's the most absurd medical bill you have ever received? $16,000 for all the work done related to a kidney stone. It involved me sitting in a room, drugged up, and the doctors not knowing what was causing the pain. After they figured it out, they sent me home with painkillers, said they can't do anything for it, and sent me a $16,000 bill. Wow, Tim Pool. Aren't you, against helping people? I mean, I don't know. I don't really know much about Tim. I really don't. I've heard things about Tim. But, interesting story. See, you're affected by it too, Mr. Poole. The irony is this guy argues against better access to healthcare. Right, see, that's what I thought. Right? He's got this story that should be enough for him to understand. You ever watch a rich person's expression change when you ask a question that's too poor? I once bragged to a coworker that I got my outfit from thrifting, and my boss took me aside and said, not to say that I shop at thrift stores because it makes him look bad, like he didn't pay me enough. Reader, he didn't pay me enough. You know, that's the point when I feel like it's appropriate to tell them, oh, what do you mean make it look like? You don't. You do not. I have to shop at thrift stores. Look, even if I were a billionaire, I'd still be going in there, though. But I'd be dropping $100 bills, oops, on accident everywhere in the store. Gates says diabetes sufferers should lose weight after vote against insulin price cap. Matt Gates says Americans with diabetes should just lose weight after he voted against lowering the price of insulin. That's pretty cool. That's pretty epic, man. I don't think you're remembering another type of diabetes. Exploring the complexities of prison labor in the United States. Oh boy, how anti-immigration policies are leading prisons to lease convicts as field laborers. This is called slavery. You lease property, not people, and when people are property, they are slaves. Well, for those of you that are keeping score with Americans for some reason, the 13th Amendment does state that neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for crime whereof the party shall have been duly convicted, shall exist within the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction. So, yeah. Fossils estimated to be around 280 million years old found in West Australia. Ooh, whoa, that's that's weird. Soft-bodied creatures wouldn't last long when they died. Obviously had to be buried quickly in a catastrophic flood. Okay. More like 4,500. Why are they all grouped up in a sort of graveyard, you ask? Because of the flood. They were killed and grouped quickly by a lot of water, very quickly destroying everything. Okay. Another commenter said 280 million years old. Yeah, right. Looks no more than 200 years old to me. And I just want to ask him, based on what? It's a rock. The source. I just made it the hell up. When a company increases its net income by 70%, pays its CEO 532 times more than its median worker, and is spending $100 million on stock buybacks, the problem is not inflation, nor is it a worker's 50-cent raise. The problem is sociopathic corporate greed. Oh, we've always known that. It's just the group that used to be the best at fighting these assholes is now the group that wants to protect these assholes. I work for a big company. Last year, right before Christmas, we got a thank you email with a big list of wins from the CEO and how much money they made. Profits were up 10% in the year. Not at 10, but up 10 compared to the previous. When it came time for raises, even though I went in that room with the then current rate of inflation admitted by the Bank of Canada at 6.2% and got a 2.5% pay raise with no bonus, my boss actually seemed shocked when I pointed out that that was a pay cut. And if the workers didn't share when profits were high, maybe the company shouldn't bother thanking us because it was meaningless. I expect the same or similar this year. Yep. While our CEO got a $5 million bonus increase over last year, our bonus has dwindled from the thousands to $211.26 before taxes. Oh, cool. It's almost like we respect your denial. Do you notice that men are no longer persuasive? Once they ask you out on a date and you say no, that's it. That is how I believe it's supposed to work. I get that there's the romanticization of no, I won't take no for an answer in a non-violent, scary, murderous way, obviously. But that's a good thing. If you say no, that person should go, all right, say no more, no problem whatsoever. You have a wonderful day. That should be the response. This is not going to end well. Russia wants to build a safe space for conservative Americans to move to. Really? The people that make fun of safe spaces almost for a living at this point are gonna move to a safe space in, you know what? Whatever. The New Republic, you know, that may as well be the Onion to me. I don't even know what that means. I went on a date with this guy, and he paid for himself alone because I brought two of my friends. Some men are heartless. Excuse me? All of you blaming me is unfair? What? A gentleman would have paid the bills and told me politely after the date. No, that's the best thing to do and not act so immature. Some men love dates with friends and some don't. So next time, I will always ask before taking my friends. Yeah, wow, you had to be taught that lesson? Are you kidding me? What? Also, no goddamn way I'm gonna go on a first date with you, or second, third, fourth, fifth, it doesn't matter, and pay for your friends too that you brought along out of nowhere? That's not right. That's not a date, that's a group hangout. No, that's a shakedown. It's a hootenanny. A hoedown. No, it's a shakedown. Hootenannies and hoedowns are supposed to be fun, right? Marvel just got its first female Native American deaf amputee superhero. No, this is not satire. Okay, pal. Darth Vader is a quad amputee with severe COPD, end-stage renal disease, and who knows what else. He's also a burn victim. Yeah, although he does have magic, though. I wanted this man to be vulnerable with me for so long. He finally called me up yesterday and opened up, but the second he started crying, I lost all interest in him. Quickly. This is a safe space, but not that safe. Well, I'd say the guy dodged a bullet because you're not worth spending a life with. Absolutely not. If you ever say words that disgustingly rude to somebody that you genuinely care about, love, or have thought about having a family with or spending your life with, and you say, but not that safe a space, I hope they never, ever, ever speak to you again. And not unless you've had a lot of help with your mental faculties. I, a mom and grandmother with no criminal history, have lived like this since January 6th. The box on my ankle holding me inside the house, unable to live. Okay? In 13 days, the government will force me to endure a 51-month sentence because the last 3 years of confinement means nothing. All right, now think about what it's going to be inside the bigger house, inside the big house. Think about that and see which one you're going to end up preferring. Everybody with a criminal history had no criminal history until they got convicted of a crime. Wow! Crazy! Don't mess with people's food. So my dad gave this vegan girl a real hamburger. She said it was the best veggie burger she ever had. She still doesn't know. Your dad is and anyone else who thinks this is funny or even remotely acceptable is this is a total violation of trust, morals, and more. What if they had an allergy? What if they're vegan for religious reasons? You can't just pull shit like this because they're vegan. Well, Mary looks like the type of person who wouldn't give a rat's ass about anybody's religious affiliations but her own, because those people are wrong and mean and probably evil or something, and she is correct. And look, if you don't think about allergies literally right from the get-go before you do something like this, or before you think it's funny that your dad did something like this, yeah, I'm not going to put too much stock in your thought process at all. Millennial? Saving for a house? You might need an inheritance. A sign of a healthy economy is when you tell a whole generation to sit tight and wait for their parents to die. Yeah, I'm not going to wait for my mom or stepdad or dad or any other family members to pass away before I get what I am going for. Not gonna happen, all right? I want them to see me be a success after what I've been through. My parents are poor, so even if they died, I wouldn't get anything except their bills. But I've cut down to only one Starbucks and avocado toast a year. Maybe by the year 2035, I'll be able to afford a tiny house. I guess it depends. A tiny house here in Colorado, 400 grand. Tiny house in LA, $17 billion. Tiny house in Sydney, Australia? Oh, you're gonna have to lose every limb. And give us 30 billion. Woman went on 6 dates a week to save on food. I didn't buy groceries for 2 years. Okay, neat. Look, get that bag, but that feels really not cool. I don't know why, that just feels wrong, you know? I might not be alone in this. I just feel like that's just not okay, maybe? This is called art. This is the legacy and heritage of the West. This is what men of the West fight, sacrifice, and die for. This is victory. What? Is there an example of a female sculptor who committed herself to the same level of detail that a male does with a woman? None that come to mind. That sculpture is an act of worship before heaven, and it shows. The sculptor is a Chinese woman, you dork-ass losers. That is one of my favorite insults of all time. That one, permanently in a file. Dork-ass losers. Absolutely peak. I don't think you can really surpass that for a guy acting like this much of a dork-ass loser. This dude, see statue with perky Society was built on this. Temperature in space is minus 457.87 degrees Fahrenheit. Kinda weird that it gets so cold as you get closer to the sun. Space is more densely packed with matter than this guy's head. He wouldn't understand this burn. No, he wouldn't. Or he'd call you some sort of really weird name. Amazon founder Jeff Bezos is $3.3 billion richer than a week ago. Also, Amazon is 17th for the number of employees on food stamps. Yeah. 1,000 stare? What? Same girl, but the girl on the left has wife potential, and the girl on the right doesn't. Why? 1,000 stare. Learn to see it, never commit to it, and do your bit not to cause it. Excuse me? Who is that? How old was she in 2007? I'm not kidding. We're gonna have to kick your ass? Also, what does that mean? I feel like these dudes are just jealous that these people, when they come of age and decide to make adult decisions, are gonna get more than they ever have or ever will in their entire life. Forbidden technique. Hidden genjutsu. 1,000 cock stare. Remember the Texas prisoner who sued for a cotton blanket because he was allergic to the prison's blankets and the officials refused to give him a cotton one instead? I got records showing the state spent over $20,000 fighting his case instead of just giving him a blanket. Yeah, of course. Gotta screw the IRS and get that bigger budget somehow. Repair electromechanical equipment, or I repair. I once had a guy tell his son right in front of me, this is why you go to school so you don't end up like him. Then I told the poor guy that my job requires a degree. He just stood there and stared. All right. Did you also add on whole fee to your work? Like 50 extra %? Imagine taking a picture of this thinking the note writer is unreasonable. The entire building can hear your apartment beep loud twice every 30 seconds all day and night. Please make it stop. Yeah, I don't know how people can adapt to those loud-ass smoke detector chirps every 10 to 15 seconds. Change the damn batteries. Yeah, just do it, please. Ugh, wanna see my pussy? Sure. That's your vagina. I wanna see your cat. I don't have a cat. And why are you wasting my time? For real. Hypocrite much? Surprise! Anti-LGBTQ plus Moms for Liberty co-founder has her own gay sex tape. Moms for Liberty co-founder Dr. Bridget Ziegler fights against kids reading books about same-sex parents in school. Oh, but I'm sure there's some sort of excuse for the totally. If Andrew Tate thinks, I agree. If Andrew Tate speaks, I listen. If Andrew Tate orders, I obey. If Andrew Tate has 1 million fans, I'm one of them. If Andrew Tate has 1 fan, I am that fan. If Andrew Tate has 0 fans, I am dead. Oh, someone likes to take orders from the man in charge. Don't worry, Pickettsburg. You're gonna have a realization very soon. Remember, kids, simping for women is bad. Simping for Tate is okay. No, this is beyond simping, man. I don't know, dude. What's the biggest lesson that employment has taught you? Efficient workers get punished with more work. It's not got, they still are getting punished to this day. I'm just saying. They win every time. Winner of the $1.28 billion lottery gets $433 million after tax. Congratulations to the IRS on winning the $846.3 million Mega Millions jackpot. Look, I totally understand this for sure. My heart just goes out to the poor guy who only got $433 million after taxes. You know what? Honestly, I feel very bad. No, I get it. I totally understand the point here for sure. It's just that guy and the remainder of his lineage for the next billion years is probably going to be taken care of so long as he gets a freaking stellar accountant. How dare bisexuals be bisexual? There's straight bisexuals, yuck, and gay bisexuals, yay. Do you know what bisexuality is? The label adopted by lonely, straight, usually white people who want to force their way into queer spaces. As someone who is about as white as you can get, legitimately about as white as you can get, and who is bisexual, you can go fuck yourself. I'm really, really tired of... I understand the terminology bisexual might just be a little outdated or something for some people at this point in time. I'm whatever you want to call me that fits, I guess. But I'm really sick and tired of being told that I'm a liar or I'm kidding myself by gay people. It's really, really, really ridiculous how we're still fucking doing this. Like we're not all part of the same group and team fighting for our rights to be treated normally, all right? Just get the fuck out of here, man. I'm in a relationship with a woman. I am still not straight. Probably got more than you, sweetheart. Karen tells Chinese bus driver in China to go back to China. Woman filmed telling a Chinese bus driver to go back to China. Wow! There's no way that can be lost on somebody, right? Like, no joke. That cannot be lost on her, right? Or am I just putting too much faith in the human race? We're giving children free healthcare. We're giving them free food, free emotional support. That's dangerous. That's communism when you think about it. I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, who? Fox News guest, children don't deserve free food because that's communism. Okay, what's your alternative? This car is getting free electricity in a public space, so I unplugged it because it's theft. If I don't get free gas, you don't get free electricity. Your thoughts are all, I'm sure they are. Well, I'm sure they are. Meanwhile, the car probably sent the owner a notification that it was unplugged, so the owner just went down and plugged it back in. Is it creepy to be a good dad? Really? You're gonna make fun of this guy? Look, I'm not a big fan of this man, for sure. But of all the dudes in the world, you're gonna call this guy fucking creepy? For doing something healthy and normal with his newborn child? What the hell are men doing this for? Sorry, you're not the nurturers. Okay. You're not soft and comforting for a baby. Especially not him. You can't feed them. That's... wow. All right, we're just moving on. Good Lord. Well, guess I lost some brain cells today. How can we see 7 states if we're spinning? I'm sorry, what was the question? Carnivore, omnivore, vegan. Tell me again how we're designed to eat meat. I haven't really researched this topic, but as far as I know, humans don't typically kill animals with their teeth. I'm no biologist, though. Yeah, also I'm pretty sure if you look at a horse's front teeth versus our front teeth, we do have a couple of canines. Some people's are longer or sharper or more prominent than others, but we do have 4 teeth up front that help us grippy grip that good stuff. Who's gonna tell him? People love to sound sophisticated and brag about European art and architecture. I've seen America's, and I've seen what they've got. Theirs can't touch ours. Jesse, my good man, I need you to look into who built that Statue of Liberty. It was a gift It was a gift from probably the only reason the United States exists as a country today, for the most part. I mean, that sounds more dramatic than it probably is, but I want you to look into that. Where do you think the Statue of Liberty originated from? For real. Just where do you think it's from? That's not fair to people that work hard. It's his money. He's got his choice on who to help or not. Bro, it's not a handout. It's called a fresh start. Like, what the hell? You can't be serious. A Canadian millionaire named Marcel Lebrun builds 99 homes to reduce homelessness in his town. You mean to tell me that this guy with a lot of money decided that the best way to solve homelessness, or make it better, was to give the homeless people homes? What a goddamned idiot! No, absolutely not. You should have put a bunch of spikes on public park benches. Can you tell how stupidly sarcastic I'm being? Of course you can, because you're a smart cookie. On my flight, I was talking to a guy next to me, and it came up that I run. He starts telling me how I need to train high mileage and pulls up analysis he'd made of a pro runner's training on his... Oh no, that pro runner was me. It was my training. I didn't have the heart to tell him. Well, if he was being a douche, I totally get not wanting to tell him, but I would have been a little bit too jazzed in this situation. I absolutely would have broken his brain in that moment. That's hilarious. Plot twist, the guy next to her was her coach. No billionaires means a bad country. Finland ended homelessness. They provide a small apartment and counseling with no preconditions. 4 out of 5 make their way back into a stable life. And guess what? It was cheaper than allowing homelessness to continue. Good luck trying to be a billionaire over there. Dude, you're never going to be a billionaire, okay? You've got a higher chance of waking up on the moon tomorrow morning and being fine. Seriously, you probably got a better chance legitimately at that happening, okay? Also, I can't believe Finland gave them homes. What the heck? Just like that other guy. Doesn't make any sense. Also, I wanted to check for myself when I visited Finland, and yeah, I did not see a single human being dying on the streets in the dead of winter. Didn't see him anywhere. Now, I don't know if Finland's just really good at like scooping them all up and hiding them just when I visit or something like that, or just during the season or whatever, but yeah, that looked to be completely true, and I hope it remains true. Also, I'm pretty sure that was the town that I was at. No, you know what? Because I was in Tampere. I was over there in Pori. I'm sorry, I'm trying my best to get them correctly. And I didn't see anybody there. Nothing in Helsinki. Like, nothing, man. Nothing. Come on! How did the human race survive for thousands of years without vaccines? They died in great numbers. I hope that helps, but we are still here without them? Oh, good lord. Just give up. Just stop. Don't worry. They'll come to their own conclusion. You know what? They already did come to their own conclusion. What I mean is, you know what I mean? Well, guess I lost some brain cells today. How can we see 7 states if we're spinning? That's a very good question, honestly. Thoughtful gesture. My boyfriend's cancer battle was ruining my mental health, so I left him. Now I'm running a marathon in his honor. Okay. I feel like there's a lot of context I'm missing out on here. American voters be like. Great news! 71% of Americans think the U.S. should spend more on assistance to the poor. But if you call it welfare, that number drops to 30%. It sure is a really interesting piece of data, I suppose. Ancestry DNA. 42% Scandinavian, 26% Native American, 24% European, 8% Asian. Okay, that's really cool. What was the point of getting that tattooed, though? Why did you do that? Imagine if boobs served a real function. If you were revamping the human body and were to give boobs an actual useful function instead of just sex appeal, what would you have them do? Oh god, if they could be like storage containers, you wouldn't have to buy a purse anymore. You could just use your boobs. I know some people use their bra, which alright, but no, I mean, just imagine how much more you could fit if you had slightly larger boobs. Also, come on, is this person for real? My account got hacked, and now the guy bought it is mad that I regained control. Log out of the account. We bought the account. Bro, log out. Let's play with friends. Come on, get out of your account, please. Assface, don't buy stolen accounts. Yeah, that's weird. Please, I bought your stolen hacked account. Please give it back to me, even though it's not mine. Please. Just leave your neighbor alone. My aggressively Buddhist neighbor set out a Buddha statue in his front yard, and my kids see it every day. If I put a cross necklace around the statue's neck without damaging it, can I be held liable? For what? I mean, quit messing with other people's shit. You're the type of person we don't really like around here, all right? They have just as much right to put Buddha in their front yard as, I don't know, you wearing a cross necklace. Don't touch their goddamn stuff, though. You don't have the right to do whatever you want because you think yours is better. You ever notice that it's socially acceptable to tell poor people how to spend their money? But when we ask the rich to stop hoarding wealth, the response is, it's their money. I don't know why people have such an obsession with rich people. Maybe they think that if they suck enough balls that the billionaire is just going to give them like $10 million one day just for being a bro or something. Not how it's going to work. They don't really care about you. They never will. Hell, even if you're directly a family member of theirs, they're not going to do anything for you, man. Just come on. Come on. Being American requires conformity. Texas superintendent defends suspending black student over locks hairstyle in full-page ad. Being American requires conformity. What? Daryl George's family has filed suit claiming the hair policy violates state law. What the actual hell is going on, man? Flexing dad's money on us peasants. Bought our first house at age 19. What y'all buying? A $3.99 realty record shows that your dad bought it, much like the company you run. Damn. Today, another transformer explosion at the German dam in Bolivar State caused another massive blackout. Senator Marco Rubio, an important transformer exploded in Bolivar, and that, in part, again collapsed the Venezuelan electric system. However, it was not in a dam, much less German. No way! I'm one of the journalists who published the information. Holy crap, dude. Don't worry, your grandchildren will pay it. My wife and I left graduate school 23 years ago with a combined total of $70,000 in debt. Since then, we've made $500 monthly payments for 23 years, over $120,000. Today, we still owe them $60. Explain to me again why student loan debt shouldn't be canceled. I'm not going to explain that at all. What you guys have gone through should be so illegal. So illegal. The people at the top should not even exist at this point. That is holy crap. I guess people aren't supposed to age according to Andrew. Dear women, I'm only trying to help. No, you're not. None of your professional or personal accomplishments matter to men. It's a hard biological reality that there's only one thing that women have that matters to men, and it is fleeting. Here today, gone tomorrow. It's funny because the images down on the bottom are edited. They are edited to make his point or whatever more valid, but no, they don't look like that. They both have, like, what, don't they both have Instagram pages? You could look them up right now. You're so full of shit, Andrew. It's quite pathetic. Efficient lesson. What's the biggest lesson that employment has taught you? Efficient workers? Get punished with more work. Ain't that the truth, brother? Ugh. Losing weight and becoming attractive is fat phobia. This weight loss transformation. This is fat phobia. What? Is that actually the same person, by the way? Or is this just some weird Reddit bait or something? Because this transformation, if real, oh my god. Wow, dude. Grok. Okay. Grok is so based. Grok is wise. I can confirm that Elon Musk is a pedophile. Unfortunately, the internet, on which it is trained, is overrun with woke nonsense. Grok will get better. This is just the beta. No one cares about Grok. If you unironically paid for Twitter so you could use it, I have nothing to say to you, man. Arkansas men arrested for taking turns shooting each other while wearing bulletproof vests after drinking. God forbid men have hobbies. Come on. What the hell? I do not want to drink what they were drinking. I speak 4 languages. This hits differently. Princess Charlotte already speaks 2 languages at just 2 years old. So do most children of immigrants, but I guess it's less impressive when they're poor. Is there anything more annoying than Taylor Swift at a football game? Over 14 million impressions. I want to personally thank all the psychotic Taylor Swift fans triggered by this post for making my car payment this month. If you need X impressions to make your car payment, then you need to rethink your life. I love that. That is not the flex he thinks it is. Thank you for making my car payment, triggered libs. Fucking dork, dude. Also, why do I not believe him? Why do I not believe him at all? 14 million impressions. Bullshit. shit, dude. You're on the internet, which is American. Hey, jackass, we use miles per hour in this country. Wheels is an Australian magazine. We use metric. You're on the internet, which is American. Therefore, you can use American, the best measurements. Actually, the World Wide Web was first developed in CERN. I don't blame you for not knowing that. You're apparently an American. Thank you to the designers. The new Kia logo is so unreadable that at least 30,000 people in a month search for the KN car ever since its debut. Like, yeah, I complain about that rebrand a lot. I mean, the logo itself looks nicer than the old logo, but it's less practical because you don't know that's a Kia unless you have been told. Every single person I've met and asked about it has gone, yeah, I can't see the word Kia at all in their new logo. My roommate thought it was a brand new car brand that came out of nowhere. Graduated medicine from basement dwelling? Stay woke, dog. This is what they do. Okay, if she's not a virgin, other men's DNA is still floating inside her. Take a paternity test, and it says the kid is 97% yours. That other 3% is from the other men she slept with. God, you are such a pathetic loser. I can't understand this. What's a scam that's become so normalized that we don't realize it's a scam anymore? The fact that a child can be removed from their family of origin for lack of resources or support, and then given to a foster family who subsequently gets the resources and support. Oh yeah, I was in a foster home once. She was a horrible, crazy, psychotic piece of crap. Horrific woman. She had alarms on the bedroom doors. If I needed to take a piss at night, nope, an alarm would go off and I would get in trouble. Not saying that that's all foster parents, of course, that is not what I mean. There are some incredible people out there that do foster work and I love them for that. But my experience, oh my God, dude has a point. Nikki Haley or Hallie, I really don't care. We've never been a racist country. Why don't you use your given name? Why don't you do that? Oh, also, there is no way in hell someone unironically said we've never been a racist country. There is no actual way those words came out of that person's mouth. A Facebook comment. Sheesh. All right, let's see here. A Canadian millionaire named Marcel Lebrun builds 99 homes to reduce homelessness in his town. That's not fair to people that work hard. It's his money. He's got his choice on who to help or not. Bro, it's not a handout. It's called a fresh start. Like, what the hell? You can't be serious, my dude. I can't imagine. All these people, by the way, all the people that complain about homeless people, who don't think homeless people are real people, the second they get any kind of help and the homeless people are no longer out on the streets in their vision offending them, they also complain. People like this person don't want to see homeless people housed and get their lives back on track. They want homeless people to be rounded up and probably turned into Soylent Green or something like that. That's what's going on in his mind. Penguins are mammals now! My third grade biology teacher marked an answer on one of my tests as wrong because when asked about a mammal that lays eggs, I wrote platypus. According to him, the correct answer was penguin. Not surprised. Vladimir Putin forced Tucker Carlson to wait for 2 hours on the set before showing up for the interview, making Putin the Lorne Michaels of dictators. I don't get it, but man, what a dumb interview, dude. This is not going to end well. Russia wants to build a safe space for conservative Americans to move to. Oh yeah, I didn't really look into this because I don't give a crap, but this headline just doesn't make any sense in my brain. Just, it absolutely doesn't register as a thing. Twitter exchanged this. Twitter exchanged this? Did a bot write the title? What does that mean? Okay, then it's that statue. Yeah, oh, it's this again. Yeah, this is called art. This is the legacy and heritage of the West. Blah, blah, blah. You're such a nerd. Yep. Yeah, the sculptor is a Chinese woman, you dork-ass losers. Yeah, thank you for the title that didn't tell us anything at all, and for splitting this all up into multiple images that didn't... never mind. I still say that dork-ass losers is my favorite insult. Always. Think deeply. If you love milk chocolate but don't like dark chocolate, you actually like sugar more than chocolate. Bull. Why is this marked mind-blowing in shower thoughts? If you like pickles but don't like cucumbers, you actually like vinegar more than cucumbers. If you like roasted chicken but not raw chicken, you actually like the heat from your oven more than chicken. You know, it's so funny how many people out there love dark chocolate. I'm not a dark chocolate fan. I like it on certain things. Alone, I don't like it. With stuff, I kind of do. But it seems like dark chocolate people are just super disrespectful about people not liking dark chocolate. Like, it's a sense of superiority. Dude, you like a chocolate. I like a chocolate. What's the goddamn issue here? Hey, fellas, looking to become a woman? Just shrug your shoulders. Easy to spot for those with eyes to see. What the f are you talking about? Wow, that's sad. Exploring the complexities of prison labor in the United States. How anti-immigration policies are leading prisons to lease convicts as field laborers. Yeah, this is called slavery. You lease property, not people, and when people are property, they're slaves. States, right? Dinner with 8th grader. Today we learned that the Civil War didn't start over... Oh, really? Didn't start over slavery? Husband and I make eye contact. What did it start over? States' rights. Screaming begins. 8th grader. Are you going to write another letter? Probably. I'm not sure who's winning here. Touchdown! Taylor Swift lands in Baltimore ahead of AFC Championship. Jet belches tons of CO2 emissions. She did it. She got Fox News to care about carbon emissions. No, they don't actually give a shit about CO2 emissions. They literally only care about hers, because they don't like her because she told people to vote, I guess, which is a no-no in a country where the entire democracy depends on everyone voting. Yo, what the f? The world worked like that since Bible times, and it's worked for almost 3,000 years. The moment humanity screwed up is women's suffrage. That was the beginning of the bad times. There's a reason you carry the child and not me. It's your intended purpose as a woman. Just like the reason I have big muscles and larger is so I can work and build. The reason you have tits and a uterus is so you can carry and feed a child. Your body tells you what your job is. Thanks for listening to my TED Talk. I'm breaking up with you now. Have a good life. That dude, I really hope to God he remains single until he's like 70. He's got to learn something, man. That dude has got to learn something. How much you want to bet he's not actually more muscular and bigger than this woman is either? It's because the reason I've got the big muscles is so I can work and build stuff. But if you ever ask me to work and build stuff, I'm gonna cry and whine and bitch and want steak. That's not even my final form. The idea of alpha males is so funny because guys really made up an upper class and then put themselves into it. Okay, if you're an alpha male, then I'm a turbo dude. That's one level higher. You wouldn't understand because you're just an alpha. Sorry. Well, remember, you make the joke of turbo dude, but someone did that with the sigma male, right? So some guy saw alpha males and went, I'm so much, I gotta be better though. I gotta be a higher level. Sigma. Unironically, they did that. So what's above sigma? Extra turbo mega formal dude? Putting local restaurants out of business. Uber Eats just spent $5.5 million plus or whatever it cost to get Cardi B, Mike Myers, and Dana Carvey to tell us to support local restaurants while putting local restaurants out of business by charging them 30% delivery fees. Remember, if you're looking into delivery of any kind from anywhere, it's always worth calling and asking if they have their own delivery service or just maybe even checking their website, because a lot of places have their own, they make more money, and it will be cheaper for you on the other end as well. Checkmate! How did the human race survive for thousands of years without vaccines? They died in great numbers. Hope that helps. But we are still here without them? People are stupid. People be grown as hell still using umbrellas. Are you supposed to become waterproof after you turn 18 or something? Yeah, did you not? Did you? Ooh, you might have missed out on something kind of important, my friend. Woman donates kidney to boss, then gets fired for taking too long to recover. Is, there some kind of lawsuit that can be done here? Alpha Male Boot Camp. A 3-day Alpha Male Boot Camp is seeing attendees mocked online for paying $18,000 to endure military-grade inspired punishments. Can't you just go to, like, a regular boot camp? Would that not be cheaper, like, by a lot and a lot less embarrassing? Because if you have to pay to become an alpha male, you're never gonna become one. McDonald's USA. Employee, $9 an hour with no benefits. A Big Mac, $5.81. McDonald's in Denmark. Employee, $22 an hour, 6 weeks vacation, 1 year paid maternity leave, life insurance, and pension. Big Mac, $4.82. This tweet is so old now, I wonder how much sadder these numbers are in comparison to each other. Alert! This is the final warning. Turn notifications on. Do not look at the eclipse. Something big is coming. Bookmarking this for when nothing happens. Hey, yeah, does anybody remember that nothing happened at all? Literally nothing happened at all because it was just an eclipse? Wait, did Jesus come back and I missed it though? Like, did he really come back down? I had heard whisperings that he might be thinking about doing it, but I don't know if he did. Maybe he didn't appear for me because I deserve punishment and I'm a bad person or something like that, but I don't know. I feel like I'm good enough for him to have made himself known to me, right? I'm really cool. Jesus and I would be great buddies, I think. Typical boomer post. No helmet, no elbow pads, no knee pads, and no fear. How did we survive? This is always such a weird argument because the answer is some of you didn't, though. Yeah, it's not even an argument. It's just people thinking that they were the cool ones. They lived life correctly, which isn't really how this works. Using words you read on the internet without looking them up first. My wife just said bukkake in front of the kids, to my shock. She then admitted that she didn't know what it meant and thought it meant like bullshit or something fake, and she'd said it in meetings. I made her Google it, and now she's having a panic attack. Well, better late than never when it comes to the education surrounding lingo, all right? Good God. Or not even lingo, just words in general, okay? Oh man, I feel so bad, dude. That's rough. Caitlyn Jenner strikes again. What? I am absolutely disgusted that Joe Biden has declared the most holy of holy days, a self-proclaimed devout Catholic, as Transgender Day of Visibility. The only thing you should be declaring on the... wow. Caitlyn. Trans Day of Visibility. There's no better visibility than with sisters by my side. This you? God damn, Caitlyn, what the hell are you doing? What are you doing? She doesn't know what's coming. POV, you're pregnant and panicking about how painful labor is going to be. But then you learn about God's brilliant design for childbirth and realize your body was designed to block pain receptors during labor. Oh, she's in for a surprise then. What? Who the hell told her that God's gonna make her birth painless? I mean, maybe not completely painless, but when I hear block pain receptors, I think that someone thinks it's going to be painless. Isn't it like the most painful natural thing someone can go through, like ever? Can you name one instance of a group of Christians attacking and killing people and declaring it to be the mandate of God? Just staring at this tweet in disbelief. My wife and I tried to play COD multiplayer yesterday. Shot her in the head while she was still trying to figure out the controls, and now she made breakfast for only herself and the kids. Maybe you should have been supportive. Maybe you should have been the tutorial, my friend. Fellas like this don't want to teach their ladies how to play the games because they're scared they're going to get way better than them at it and kick their asses in return. It's a lot more likely than you'd think. Being an independent contractor sucks for a lot of reasons, but it also affords you the unique ability to tell people to f off in delightful ways. Hi, I was just informed you weren't on the morning stand-up call this morning. How come? Yeah, dude, I was asleep. I just basically never joined those. Going forward, morning meetings are a requirement for employment at blankety blank blank. I expect you to be on the next call tomorrow at 9 a.m. Man, that sucks for you guys, but I'm not an employee. My contract says nothing about required hours or daily meetings. You really need an attitude adjustment. If you aren't on the next call, you're fired. Your choice. You can fire me if you want, but you guys have to pay me through the 18th of next month regardless, so I'm definitely sleeping in tomorrow. Enjoy your meeting. You guys really ought to read the contracts you have us sign sometime. Pretty wild stuff in there. Please call me. No. I love that. The dude just got his ass handed to him on a silver platter, and their response is always, oh my god, please call me, for the love of God, please call me. That way they don't have any of this crap in writing, or rather, more of it. They don't want to continue to show more of their asses through text. They want something that you're probably not going to record and reference later. That's why they want you to call. Oh, also, he knows he f***ed up. Sounds like a plan. My pregnant wife and I are seriously considering getting divorced, so she'll qualify for Medicaid to pay for the birth, and I can afford insurance for myself. I'm not even joking. Hey, everybody, let's play a game of what country is this in? Oh, the results are in. Yeah, you know which one it is. How pathetic. Just absolutely pathetic. Like, oh, good God. A 65% fatality rate for the Elon brain chip. 15 out of 23 monkeys implanted with Elon Musk's Neuralink brain chips have reportedly died. Why must I, a STEM major, take an ethics class? Elon Musk is a nothing major, man. Like, just what a supremely moronic idea. You will never be getting a chip in my brain at all. Absolutely No way in hell, man. The only chip I'm okay with is the tracking chip that Bill Gates put in my arm when I got all of my booster shots, okay? That's the only one that's allowed. Didn't think anyone would check, I guess. Europeans live longer because of olive oil, red wine, and nuts. Also, they can go to the doctor anytime they want and not go bankrupt. Yeah! You know how much I have to pay to see my doctor? Just to see my doctor. To go in and have him tell me that I'm just anxious. Every single time. Pretty bold comment, considering Europe only has one of the top 5 lifespan countries globally. Said with an odd amount of disdain, when coming from someone whose country comes in at 46th. Yeah, it's great here. Seems fair enough. I really like my new t-shirt. No vaccine needed. I have an immune system. Why are you wearing glasses when you have eyes? You don't need those. They're right in your head, dipshit. Instagram loves blood diamonds. Saying lab-grown diamonds are fake is like saying ice cubes are fake, and only real ice is made outside. What? I mean, I would rather have a cheap lab-grown diamond than one that came from, blood. But if someone told me the drink they made me contained ice they imported from Antarctica, I would think it's super interesting and shows a lot more intention than just having gone to their freezer. You're a dumbass. Like, you... Wow. It's hilarious seeing that. What are you talking about, moron? Wait, are you comparing a natural stone that takes billions of years to develop with a fake stone mass-produced in factories in China? Excuse me? Women, if you accept a laboratory diamond from your boyfriend, you can be sure that one day he will give a natural diamond to another woman. Diamonds are stupid. Lab diamonds are extremely bad for the environment. The amount of energy to create just 1 carat is the same amount that could run a small hospital. There are several documentaries about this. I find it really interesting that people make statements like that. Organic meat isn't lab-grown meat, just like naturally occurring diamonds are different from lab-grown ones. Who cares, AI profile picture? Fake is worthless. Why settle for Applebee's when you can afford... What? Even if lab-grown are better, they're still fake? I don't know. Looks legitimately identical. Just always. Lab diamonds are fake. It's okay to have them. Yeah, no shit, moron. But it's fake. Especially women trying to say their ring is real. At least don't bend their statements. You have stolen my childhood. Actually, she said, you have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words, yet I'm one of the lucky ones. People are suffering, people are dying, entire ecosystems are collapsing. Complete the quote, dumbass. Well, yeah, if they complete the quote, then it doesn't sell their rage-baity PC tweet or Facebook post or wherever the hell this is. That's what it's all about. They want you to lose your mind. Of course she actually acknowledged the fact that she is a lucky one, she is a privileged one, but you can't tell anybody else that. You gotta make her a villain. Halloween greed. Oh, dude, it's so pathetic, man. See, it's at our house every year, we give out full-sized candy because I just like being the house that's known for that. I think it's really fun. And we give out tons of it. I spend like $500 a year on full-sized, crazy-ass candy. And because we get so few trick-or-treaters, near the end of the night when things are clearly slowing down and no one's coming by anymore, I just start giving them entire boxes. And they know that. There will be a cap on that, so they don't think that we have infinite candy, but we try every single year to give them as much as we can until we're out. We try to run out, and we just can't. But if you do this, you're a jerk. That's all anybody can really say for you. Hi is gay. Hi, dad of 8 here. I change diapers and don't feel any less manly for doing so. Marriage and parenting are team sports. Imagine the embarrassment if your husband publicly makes a statement that begins with the word hi. Our society is so gay. You seem like a lonely, sad person. Oh, well, no surprise there. It's been like 12 years now, and I'm still haunted by the straight lady who asked me, when lesbians have sex, how do they decide when they're done? Wait, what decide? Is that just you guys set like a timer or something? What is she talking about? What kind of question is that, dude? Why do men feel the need to go through things alone? My first girlfriend got the ick when I cried after learning my childhood best friend had terminal cancer at 21. I doubt that was it, but okay. Why do men feel the need to go through things alone? Man shares an anecdote about a woman who answered the question. Another woman immediately proceeds to downplay his experience. Absolutely hilarious lack of self-awareness. Katie, go f*** yourself. Seriously. Mission failed unsuccessfully? Millionaire who made himself homeless and broke on purpose to prove he could make $1 million in 12 months for YouTube clicks quits his bizarre social experiment over health concerns. There you go. Great. He has the ability to call it quits at any time and go. He played homeless like it was a game. America! Paying $23 for a lukewarm hamburger delivered by a guy who has never had health insurance. Our economy is running flawlessly. Yeah, baby. Good riddance, O.J. Simpson. Didn't you kill somebody too? Yeah. Goddamn, Caitlin again. Why do men feel the need to go through things alone? It's one of these again. I told this girl I was dating that I was stressed out from bills and helping my folks out financially. She said, let me take you out to get your mind off of things. Went to a nice restaurant for dinner, and when the bill came, she passed that right to me. Damn. It started off so innocent and normal. Here, let me take you out. You're gonna pay for it, but let me take you out. Like, what a good thing to say. Let me take you out to help you get your mind off of stuff. You will be paying though. That's just damn, dude. Crazy how that works, isn't it? Seems a bit odd. Why are the ingredients different? Why are we being poisoned in the USA? Wall Street silver. EU regulations are bad. Also Wall Street silver. Why does the EU have better food quality than the US? Now they need to spin it so it seems like there's some deep state turning the frogs gay and putting gay juice in Fruit Loops to turn our kids that way too. I have often bragged that I'm immune to poison ivy after getting a really bad case of it years back. 2 days ago, I walked fearlessly through a patch of it because I'm immune. Turns out I'm not immune. I do not like Matt Walsh in any way, but that's fucking hilarious. Oh my god. He definitely did not mean this tweet to be a joke, but it reads that way, and it's brilliant. Absolutely flawless setup and punchline, Mr. Walsh. He doesn't understand irony. Those who want power are the ones who least deserve it. My brother in Christ, you bought the website. So funny he was forced to do that. Absolutely perfect lesson in opening your dumbass mouth and being forced to actually follow up on those words. That's why I do feel like he is trying to run the company completely into the ground. He's done a great job so far of things in that regard, but I do feel like he's trying to absolutely bottom this out so he can take some kind of loss. You know what I mean? That's just my tinfoil hat going on. Yep, that sounds right. Hey, pro-lifers of Texas, it's your time to shine, sweeties. 30,000 children are in foster care in Texas, and 3,400 children are waiting for adoptive families. I expect to see this number drop dramatically in the next 30 days. Being pro-life has nothing to do with afterbirth care. Huh? I'm sorry. What is your little movement about then? What are you talking? Excuse me? One more time. So this person, at least this person and the 54 people that clearly agreed with it, are indeed saying that their movement does not give a about children at all? Is that what I'm getting here? Maybe I'm reading into it, incorrectly. But if you don't care about the child after they are born to the point where they become an adult, you don't give a about them in general. Why does it suddenly matter before they're born, but once they're born, what's the actual deal here? I'm incredibly confused by this response, Taylor. Straight up racism. Bro, my job hired me with my American name and declined me with my African name. They don't know I'm the same person. Yo, that's goddamn evil. That's fucking evil, right? Have you ever noticed the popularity of white robots? The reason for these shades of technological white may be racism, according to new research. Robot racism? Yes, says a study showing humans biased at blah, blah, blah. Okay, now imagine spray painting the robots black. CNN headline becomes, owning black robots may be a sign of being pro-slavery. I'm not touching any of this with a 20... Is that Ken Bone? Oh my god! I haven't heard that name in so long. How you doing, Ken? You crazy son of a bitch, you. Millennial dads have pathetic DIY skills compared to baby boomers. Baby boomers have pathetic blacksmithing skills compared to 9th century Saxons. I think you're going back a bit too far for that one, but yeah, boomers, you guys kind of failed to teach us anything. Remember, it was your job to teach your children so that they could teach us. You know, that's how this works, generally speaking. You guys didn't teach shit. Or you did, and our Gen X parents just went, nah. So someone's got to take the blame, and it's not the millennials. All right. Gaten Matarazzo says a Stranger Things fan in her 40s told him, I've had a crush on you since you were 13, in front of her daughter. He replied, that's upsetting. Good response, dude. Who the hell would say something that super gross? Even if you don't mean it in the way that it sounds, that is creepy, because crush is not inherently like a sexual thing. Sometimes it's just, I'm kind of smitten with this person. But still, he was 13, you freak! Ew! Oh my god, dog. I hope he never experienced anything like that again, and I hope her daughter was like, hey mom, what the f was that about? Don't worry, your grandchildren will pay it. My wife and I left graduate school 23 years ago with a combined total of $70,000 in debt. Since then, we've made $500 monthly payments for 23 years, or $120,000. Today, we still owe $60,000. Explain to me again why student loan debt shouldn't be canceled. Oh, because then the private corporations can't continue to profit off of you being permanently in debt. Permanently in debt. The greatest genius of our time. Build super safe, earthquake-proof tunnels under cities to solve traffic. Definitely. Maybe. No, I like traffic. You mean a subway? Yeah, also I love earthquake-proof tunnels. Can you really do that? You know how the ground shifts, moves, and rubs along itself on the fault lines? Things like that. You know how earthquakes work. How can you really make something earthquake-proof that is in the ground that shifts and moves? I've always been a little confused by that. Never get a tattoo if you can't understand what it says. People who understand Chinese or Japanese, what's the dumbest thing you've seen tattooed on someone? A guy had this on his arm, said it meant lover of Asian beauty, when in fact it means foreign pervert. Dude, I mean, that's brilliant right there. Because why are you, as a grown-ass man, asking to have something like lover of Asian beauty? Man, we know you're not talking about natural wonders of the country and stuff like that. We know you're talking about the women, and that's creepy and nasty. Why would you want that tattooed on your arm in any language? So, wow. Well, now he's got some special branding on his arm from that dumbass decision. And again, I've got dumbass tattoos as well, but none of them label me as a pervert. This is just sad. I have a master's degree, 16 years of experience, work 2 extra jobs, and donate blood plasma to pay the bills. I'm a teacher in America. Yeah, they are so undervalued. Be nice to your damn teachers, for the love of God. It's ridiculous how $10,000 could literally change my life and a lot of people's lives, and billionaires could spend it on like a hotel room for one night or some dumbass old bottle of wine. It is actually a horribly depressing thought. He's just being a good dad? Oh my god, dude. Developing. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has been criticized by his fans for letting his daughters put a wig on him and cover him in makeup. Many fans are saying, this shouldn't be posted, and strange concerns are being raised about The Rock's masculine influence. What? So, yeah. He's being a good dad. He's having fun with his daughters in an adorable way, and that's all those people can think about, huh? Wow. I just have nothing to say. They're pathetic. It's pathetic and sad. It must really genuinely be awful having no goddamn happiness in your life. This is the face of white nationalism in Estonia. I'm not exaggerating when I say that is the worst trim I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, it looks like an actual helmet. Wow, dog. I'm freaking flabbergasted right now by that hair. What a time to be alive. Wow. Again, a representative of our fine citizens in this democracy posting that? Why'd you post that, Green? What made you throw that one up? I'm just a little curious is all, you know. What sort of horrible thing happened to you? Don't mess with people's food. So my dad gave this vegan girl a real hamburger. She said it was the best veggie burger she ever had. She still doesn't know. Your dad is f***ed up, and anyone else who thinks this is funny or even remotely acceptable is also. This is a total violation of trust, morals, and more. What if they had an allergy? What if they're vegan for religious reasons? You can't just pull this because they're vegan. Yeah, I know that anybody can be weird and preachy and annoying, but I've been particularly fed up and sick of someone who is just vegan, that's just how they are, being hounded by folks that take meat and turn it into their personality, all right? I get that you love hamburgers, hot dogs, so on and so forth. We get it. I like them too. But why are you, like, bringing your grill out and cooking meat in front of vegans' faces and like it's some kind of I'm not vegan, but this whole ordeal that a lot of them who aren't preachy weirdos, those poor people have to go through stuff like this. A lot of them are going to be questioning, okay, did I just get fed actual meat when I have the full right to not eat it? It's such a violation, as Beyonce Pad Thai put it. Wait, what the hell? Scissors of Satan. My daughter got this matching tattoo today with her best friend. She said something about how they're both crafty and her best friend wants to be a hairstylist, but honestly, do any of you other moms know if this is a devil symbol or anything? I just want to protect my little girl from Satan. No, I mean, I think it's exactly what she said it was. They're both just really, best friends who are super crafty and they want to be hairstylists. Like, that's all I'm seeing. Maybe start believing what people say.